What's up? What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Sanchez 405 coming at you. It is on the Warpath Live, y'all. Coming to you on this last day and Sunday, and a lot of things happening with the Burgundy and Gold. They may not be on the field, and it might not be in practice, but there's still a lot of things going on with our Burgundy and Gold, and I just to get started talking about. I know there's a lot going on in the world, and right now, wishing for the best for George Floyd's family and those and everybody who's hurt and affected by this. And I hope justice is served just like anybody else. So I just wanted to start that out there. And with that being said, we'll get into it right now. And I just want to thank, before we even get started, make sure you like this video, share it out. And if you haven't before, if this is your first time on here, make sure you do subscribe, hit that bell so you get notification anytime we do any videos here on the Warpath. We should have Yemi coming through here soon on this live stream that we talked about dropping on. But the biggest thing is this week with the Burgundy and Gold is the fact that the coordinators had an opportunity to speak to the media, Nate Kaczor, and then I think Del Rio, and then Turner, or they may have flipped spots. But I had an opportunity to listen to their to each one of their press conferences, and there are a lot of similarities in it. They're talking about competition, they're talking about getting better, and like I said, a lot of appreciation to everybody who's been watching the Who Is series. We've gotten a lot of love out of that, talking about just profiling Ron Rivera, and we did Jack Del Rio and Scott Turner, and Nate Kaczor is coming up next. That'll be the next video, the special teams coordinator. So if you haven't, make sure you check those out as well. And if you want to come on and chat about what's going on with the Burgundy and Gold, there is the link on both sides for Periscope and for YouTube. But the first one I had an opportunity to listen to, because it was the video I was getting ready to focus on, was Nate Kaczor. And he is looking forward to being back. He is one of two holdbacks on the coaching staff, special teams coordinator. And there he is. There's the man right there. And you got to make it. Yeah, there he is. There's the photo right there. Whew, what's up, Yemi?
Man, I look like Denzel Washington. I mean, I look like Wesley Snipes and Demolition Man.
Well, I hope you don't owe any taxes either, but oh man. What's up, buddy?
Oh man, I've been chilling, man. How you been?
I can't complain, living life, doing these videos, having too much, and you didn't seen my desk and all my notes and everything I've got. So been working on that, just getting ready to talk about the special teams coach and his press conference. And what's up, Greg Lightbody and John Lynch? He's up in here too. People think we'll only get 4 wins, and that will increase on that this year. And what's up? So I had a chance to listen to the dude, and I think the one thing about special teams is people forget special teams is still an important part of the game on punt returns, kickoff returns. Steve Sims, he had a return for a touchdown against Detroit, which really helped us win the game there. And that is what has been some of Kaczor's specialties. And without giving away the farm, I won't say too much on that. But his teams are good at pinning people deep and stopping them from returning. Now, he's been on some bad teams. He was in Tampa Bay the last 2 years with Dirk Cutter. he was in Jacksonville for 3 years. He was in Tennessee, and yeah, I think that's about it in the NFL. He spent a lot of time in college, but he talked about getting some of these new guys on here, like your boy Khalid Hudson, and the people. Yep, the people's player, Jeremy Curl and Gibson. Having these guys on there with key roles on the special teams, and I could see Gibson as a kickoff return specialist. He had a couple touchdowns on special teams in college, so I think it's going to be good to see him on special teams. And then you can put your guy like Curl. He could be a gunner in that respect. Hudson. He's your Viper. That's what they were calling him. That's the position he played, Viper. So maybe Kaczor might actually lose a guy on special teams again. He lost Terry McLaurin last year. He may lose one of these guys to the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball, depending on how they perform. He talked about Tressway and in the career year that Tressway had, and he knows how to work with punters. Tress was already established, but Brett Kern had one of his best years with Kaczor, and was number 3 in was it? It was punts inside the 20, and then he was like top 5 in punts per attempt. So, like I said, the guy knows what he's working with. They even talked about the XFL kickoff rule, where they had everybody. Was it the kickoff team started at like the 40 or something?
Yeah.
And they had the kicker had all that space, but just to stop the impact blocking and everything like that. And he mentioned it was a good sample size there. He even mentioned Stephen Wright, who's undrafted for the Skins this year, and seeing, he just doesn't want to lose anybody to Scott Turner pretty much. But and I actually got to listen to one of the podcasts, the Redskins Top Podcast, and they had Sundberg and Tressway on there, and they had good things to say about Kaczor as well. So there is a connection to Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio in his coaching. So, he did work for Jack Del Rio. And then there was a who was it? Russ Parnell, who was a special teams coach for Rivera in 2015 and 16, worked with him in Jacksonville too. So there was a connection to keeping him there. You just gotta dig too much to find that. Nobody has that time or cares. Just me.
Man, that's a lot of research, bro.
Dude, I'm a researcher now. I love it. It's fun. It's so much fun. I love doing the research and just getting out there. Feel like a nerd, but it is what it is. But then everybody's favorite guy, Jack Del Rio, and you and I kind of talked a little bit off the cuff about it earlier this week. It was Friday we talked about Jack Del Rio, and he emphasizes, and it's going to sound familiar too with Scott Turner, competition. He is preaching competition, especially at the linebacker spot. He had some interesting things to say. It's going to be an interesting mix, but he did highlight Thomas Davis, Cole Holcomb, John Bostic, and Sean Dion Hamilton. He did mention Reuben Foster as well, and Reuben Foster not being cleared to even have any football actions yet. So he is the outlier right there, but hopefully this brother can go out here and eat, though.
I think he's going to be just fine.
I hope so. But you were talking about the guy who you got his jersey with, and Sean Dion Hamilton. That's your boy.
That is my boy.
Shoot, I'm looking forward to, the knock on him was in college, and I got a guy that I work with, big Alabama fan. The knock on him was it wasn't that he couldn't play, he was hurt all the time.
Yeah.
But he stayed healthy. He proved that he could stay healthy last year, and he played really well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this brother can do. Probably in the middle there, he's going to fight for competition, but it's going to be some good players that's not going to make this team, especially at linebacker.
The one thing that we tend to miss out on is when Steve Spurrier lost Sean Deion Hamilton. He said for himself that that was his favorite player and that he didn't know how his defense would recover from that loss. Now, think about all the linebackers that he's had. And, for him to, be so attached to Sean Deion Hamilton tells you what caliber player that he is. And to be honest with you, I just love his game. He's always around the ball. He's productive. If you look at game film, you never see him getting pushed back. And that's something that you have to look at in a linebacker. Now, I believe that his true position is middle linebacker. Because not just because of his size, but he does have coverage ability, which I believe all middle linebackers need to have. He was Pro Football Focus, even though I hate quoting what they say. He was ranked number 2 in the NFL for coverage linebackers. And I honestly think he just brings a facet. He's fast. He's deliberate in what he does because he studies so much game film. And so I believe that as our middle linebacker, I think he's going to shine. Now, to add Reuben Foster into this mix with their chemistry, I think, a lot of people are saying that, they're only looking at the front 4. But I believe that we're going to have the best front 7 in the NFL. I just do. I believe we'll be, I won't say the number 1, but I'm going to say we're going to have a top 5 defense.
It would have been a top 2 defense if we had drafted Isaiah Simmons, though, right?
Well, yeah, but can't have everything. Can't have everything you want.
Oh God, what's up, V9 Nizzle?
I mean,
God, I'm sorry. I gotta do that to you. I had to do that to you.
That hurt, man. But you just can't have everything that you want, man. And I guess they proved that fact to me during the off season. During this draft.
But and then you talk about. You said everybody talked about the front 4 in that defensive line. Everybody's been talking ad nauseum. Chase Young. And I made the point in the Jack Del Rio video. The man is a whisper. Him too. But the man is a whisper. Either Montez Sweat or Chase Young or both are going to have great success under this dude. They've got a young defensive line coach in Sam Mills III who's been coaching he's young, but he's been coaching for years, like almost a decade and a half. So I think that you've got the pedigree, Julius Peppers, Von Miller, Khalil Mack, and then Mike Rucker. You remember Mike Rucker down there in Carolina? He wasn't bad. He was not
number
bad.
95.
Yeah, he was not bad. Chris Jenkins was on a line down there. Go ahead.
Notice he don't get the credit that he deserves either. He's the son of the late great Sam Mills, who played linebacker for the New Orleans Saints and for the Carolina Panthers.
Right.
And so he's been around football all of his life. I haven't looked at where he played in college, but he is amazing to me. He's never had a bad to me, he's never had a bad defensive line since he's been a defensive line coach. And and if you watch the that All or Nothing, I think it is, with the Carolina Panthers,
right,
he's actually the man on the field that keeps the time and down and distance for Ron Rivera, which is a very important position, and it shows you just how much trust Ron has in him.
Yeah, and
I think Ron's grooming him to be a head coach.
Yeah, and he was under they had fired Brady Hoke. I think he was the defensive line coach, and he took over from there. And they had some good. And he was assistant line coach right here for 7 years. So he's been there all this time. What's up, guys? What's up, Jay? What's up, Dubs family? And
what's up, Dubs?
Yeah, and y'all hope y'all doing well, staying cool or staying warm wherever y'all at. Cool like hot dog water. And
it's too cold. That's too cold.
Yeah. And Jay, I think I found you. I think that was you who found me on Twitter the other day. So it's good to connect with you on Twitter too. But yeah, I mean, and then you've got Steve Russ, who's the linebackers coach, who's pretty good and's got a proven track record as well too. And then Chris Harris in that secondary, if he can just get a little bit out of those guys, they don't have to be great. They just have to be average. That's the thing. You don't have to be great. You need to give your line enough time. But if you're hitting on 50%, 60% of the time, it's going to improve. And we'll be honest, if you make it in the top half in defense and passing yards, that's a world of improvement.
What did Jack Del Rio say, though? And he said something that a lot of people fail to realize, that you know how we always say that the front four helps the
it's vice versa, he said.
It's vice versa.
You got to give him time.
Right. And so and that's why I never engage in that argument, because if the defensive backs can't hold their man, it doesn't matter. You won't have a time to get to you won't have that time.
Right.
And I love the way Jack Del Rio thinks about defense, because he's very aggressive in how he calls plays. He's been in multiple different types of defenses, from the Bear defense, or what we would call the 46 defense. He's coached the 4-3 under style of defense, which he is renowned for. He's I honestly think that Jack Del Rio is going to bring a certain flavor. But I'm telling everybody that has followed Ron Rivera, because they both have played in the same styles of defenses, and they both coach a similar style of defense, especially the Tampa 2.
Right.
So if you look at the Tampa 2 defense, it was invented to stop the West Coast offense.
Right.
But if you look at the way that Jack Del Rio plays it, where you would have short zones on the outside with your corners, he plays a press man with his.
Right.
And then he has the coverage ballooning out from your linebackers. So he depends a lot on his front four to apply that pressure when running the Tampa 2 scheme, which, man, to be honest, I'm happier than a fat man in an all-you-can-eat restaurant. When
I know that feeling.
To see what he can do. Me too. Shoot. to see exactly what he can do, man.
Well, and then he blew up the Twitter world. Also, he's talking about the white uniforms, the all whites, which I think is the cleanest. I think it's the cleanest uniform we have in our repertoire.
I'm up here. Look, man, I'm up here trying to sit up here and be serious about this broadcast, and my wife and my niece are throwing this damn ball at my drink cup, knocking it over.
Oh man, it's all good. Yeah, but the all whites.
Y'all ruining this man's broadcast. I'm a guest. This ain't
That's all right. It's okay. That's all right. Hey, that's what's gonna happen. It's not HBO. It's just regular ass TV, like Dave Chappelle says. So.
Okay. Can you put that light on, please, and close the door?
Golden Corral, yeah, it's a good restaurant, and Chucks. Okay. Whew.
I'm sorry.
You good, man. You good. It's all good. The white uniforms, all whites. Haven't seen those since like 2009. And Jack Del Rio was like, we could get down with those for week 1. I think that's the cleanest uniform we have in the repertoire. Just don't wear them ugly tube socks, the striped socks. Don't do that.
I like the two colored striped socks at the top. I love them, man. But see, I'm old. You young.
Yeah. I mean, they wore it when Norv was head coach. They wore it with the burgundy pants. I just said, don't wear it with white. Don't wear it with the white, man. That's all. Wear them burgundy socks. That's the way. That's the look. That is the way it's supposed to be. But I can live with them in any other uniform. Just can't do it. It's too much. That's too much white. I like them burgundy socks as an accent. But yeah, I mean, what would you say to that? Them wearing those uniforms, since Jack Del Rio brought it up.
I mean, I like the uniforms, but I am a fan of the old school, either the 1932 uniform that we wear with the burgundy, with the all burgundy, with the Indian heads on the shoulders. Mm-hmm. I think we need to incorporate our speared helmet. Oh, yeah. I really wish we would go back to the spear helmet and use the Indian head as our secondary logo, mm-hmm. and try to come up with a home and away. I mean, the classic look of that 1960s one with the spear on the shirt that they wore that year when Sean Taylor was there, or when they allow us to wear the spear helmet. I like that look too. Yeah. I mean, but I just, only thing I say is, as long as we don't wear them damn mustard pants, I don't care what we wear. I hate them mustard pants. I've hated them, and I think they're cursed, man. Every time we put them pants on, we suck.
Now, I was talking to my fiance about this the other day, and she's like, they need to wear all burgundy. I said, no, all burgundy, it might look good, but that's a curse in its own itself. I do not want to wear those old burgundy, all burgundies. They can't win, they can't score in them. So, you're like a nerd on prom night. You just ain't nothing gonna happen. So, with those, Jack Del Rio, B9 Nizzle agrees with you. Yemi said Jack Del Rio is going to bring the pain, but I was shocked by Scott Turner's attitude. Seems like he's more gritty than his pappy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that is true. This guy's mentality, Scott Turner, is impressive. And people will say, like, when I was talking about Scott Turner in the video I posted yesterday, it made it sound like it's nepotism. While it's not nepotism, his dad he said to work wherever he was. He's just becoming an offensive coordinator now. But he's worked under his dad, who his dad's one of the best offensive minds in the game over the last 30 years. And then he's just got an attitude that he's going to work. Cam Newton loves him. And he can work with quarterbacks. And he gets the most out of the players that he works with. What was it? Josh Gordon had his best season. Who was his wide receivers coach? Scott Turner. And if you can get the, and I said, this man is the biggest fraud in NFL history. I don't care what anybody says. I know Skins would say, he would say Heath Schuler, but Sam Bradford is the biggest fraud in the world. Like if they made a movie about the Bernie Madoff stuff, Sam Bradford could star as him, and you couldn't tell the difference. He had a completion rate of 72%. Almost so for every 4 passes he threw, three of them were completed.
Okay.
Had a 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. They had more problems than just that offense in Minnesota that last year. Teddy Bridgewater got him to be manageable. Took him 2 years to flip the script. He had rookie hurdle that first year, and then they won the division. It's not a coincidence. Cam Newton in his rookie year completed under 60% of his passes. In 14 games in 2018, he completed the most passes that he had ever completed in his career. That's starting 16 games.
Yeah.
In 14 games, and then completed 68% of his passes. This is not trendy. This is him. This is what this guy does. He takes these guys, puts his guys in positions to win. On the offense, that's just what he does. Now, yeah, the last 4 games of the season, that's awkward anyway. Could you imagine working under your dad or working with your dad for like 2 years or for like 6 years and then be like, you know what, we're going to demote your dad. He's going to work, but you're going to do the day-to-day operations. And then you'll probably get fired at the end of the year. So I'm just giving you like maybe a month to get it right. That. Do you know how awkward that is? I couldn't do that if it was a good friend of mine, let alone my own father.
But, you know, I think what is good about Scott Turner is he grew up in that environment.
Right.
And so he knows the ebbs and flows. He became a man in that environment, you know, so he knows the ebbs and flows of the NFL. And he knows that, you know, either they love you or they hate you. One moment you're the hot commodity, and the next minute nobody's talking about you. Right. The great thing about his father, and I want to say this because a lot of people don't give Norv the credit that he deserves, but since Norv came into the NFL, he has been one thing, and that is damn consistent.
Yep.
He may not have had the success that he's had with Dallas, but you know, getting teams to the Super Bowl and winning, but he has been very consistent. And that's one thing that I believe that Scott has inherited. Watching his play calls with Carolina near the end of the season, and how he got the best out of Allen is amazing to me. How he put Funches of all people in positions to look halfway decent. You know, and we've got better receivers than Carolina had.
Oh yeah.
And we've got more weapons to me than Carolina had. So you know, when you look at his potential and you match it with our talent, I believe that excuse me, people are always talking about this we may we'll be lucky if we go 500.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I think we are going to compete in our division.
No, I agree with you. I agree that we're going to compete. Like I said, I don't think we're going to see the full thing, the full capability of this offense this year. That's just me. I don't think it, because it's going to be a learning experience. And I'm not saying these guys are dumb. I'm not saying they're stupid or they can't get it. I'm just saying I think the offense has a possibility of being really, really good. Can be really good. I think if they build on it this year, in 2021, they're going to be great. So they can go from good to great. I think they're going to, like I said, they are going to put Dwayne in situations, high percentage passes. That's why you drafted Antonio Gibson. That's why you got J.D. McKissick. High percentage passes. That's why you get big physical receivers. That's why you have Kelvin Harmon still there. You've got AGG now, big physical receivers. You got Terry McLaurin, who he already has a rapport with, and you've got another weapon you can put in, Steve Sims Jr. What's up, Kitty Cat Diva? Big D Money, how you doing? What's up, Paul? How you doing, Paul Bright? Seeing what he done with Allen makes me wonder what he'll bring out of Haskins. He's gonna bring and he's been talking about. Speaking of Haskins, Scott did talk in that press conference about how his retention of the offense. You know, they run a couple of tests talking about how he studies and how he picks up on things. He says he's picking up on things really well. And another thing I get from Scott Turner is he's not going to BS anybody. He's going to be straight and to the point. Like you could see that. And you mentioned all or nothing. You remember when him and Devin Funchess got into it during the installment and everything? And then, he explained it to him. And, him and Ron talked. And then he talked to Devin. And then Ron took him to the side. But just the fact that he has that switch where he can go like, yeah, you're not getting this stuff right or anything like that. And then switch and be like, hey, man, let's go and play ball. That's not just a sign of a good coach. That is a sign of a man right there. That is a sign of a man.
There's another thing that I wanted to bring out about that confrontation, too. Did you see that same week they went and played in Detroit?
Right.
Kevin Funchess' hometown. Mm-hmm. And do you see how many times he targeted Kevin Funchess, even though Kevin Funchess was dropping everything?
Whew. That was a rough game. Had an opportunity to win the game, too. But, and he talked about the wide receiver room, too, and talking about creating opportunities and giving Dwayne Haskins opportunities to capitalize on what he does best. Not how he fits in the system. Not how he fits in the system. How he fits our system. What are his strengths? What can you capitalize on? I hate to bring up old wounds. That's what the old administration wouldn't have done. It's how you fit in my system and how you execute my system. They're looking to be more proactive and fit your quarterback system. You got to work with what you have. And like I said before, he highlighted who did he highlight here? My handwriting is atrocious, by the way. He highlighted McKissick and Steve Sims and Gibson as guys you can creatively get the ball to. What's up, Juan Gotti? Juan, if you want to come on here and talk. You want to come on here and talk to us?
I really want to meet this young man, too.
Yeah, man. This brother is sharp. Juan, come on and talk to us if you got a chance, man. We'd love to talk to you. Pick your brain for a few minutes. But yeah, they've got options to get them where they can run. They can, I don't know, you might see some wide receiver passes like the Steelers back in 2005, just running them gadget plays all the time.
Well, I honestly think though, when you look at the situation for what it's worth, adding an Antonio Gibson to the offense gives you a gadget player. But then listen to what he's saying and not saying about Bryce Love. See, you got to listen to these coaches, man, and what they are willing to put out there, because they never want to put everything out there for you to for you to get an idea of what they're going to do. And I'm telling you, man, don't think he was in Carolina with CMC. They know what Bryce Love is capable of.
Right.
And I honestly feel like, man, Bryce Love is the diamond that they're waiting to see what he can do. Because I don't think they're as high on Geis as people say they are.
Oh yeah, no, and I've said it before. I think Geis could be on the cutting block. Did y'all see Scott cut Lattimore during his interview? He said that veteran stuff means nothing. Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember he was saying this. He said that when it came to the wide receivers, somebody asked him about is it important to add a wide receiver there? And shoot, I had it right here. He's like, no, it's not. Other than adding for flash, aka somebody was working with Dwayne Haskins in Florida, and talk about the ultimate flash in Antonio Brown. Like, this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. Stop getting hungry. Stop getting thirsty. Stop getting thirsty now. There is a thing. It's this thing called culture. And you have young, impressionable players. That dynamic. I can't speak for the locker room, but I can speak for what I see and what I saw out of Antonio Brown. They don't need that dynamic to shift. Just because I go to McDonald's once in a while doesn't mean that's my favorite restaurant. Right or wrong. Just because I go to a store, or just because I go to a bar and I get a Michelob Ultra, doesn't mean I like Michelob Ultra. Just means they didn't have Bud Light.
Thank you.
That's where I'm getting at. Sometimes you want cookies, sometimes you want cake. But no blonde mustaches here in the nation's capital this year. You don't need that headache when you're trying to develop this offense. And, it's it is not an important, it's not important. It's null and void. It's a moot point right now. But going back to what you said about the him not saying anything about the running backs, he didn't mention anything about the running backs really. Somebody asked him. He said, I don't want to give away the farm. He talked about working with Adrian Peterson in Minnesota, which that was another impressive thing. Sam Bradford's season that he did really well. Adrian Peterson wasn't playing. He was like suspended for the season, or was on the pod that year because all that stuff that happened with his son. So that makes that even more impressive. But not to beat a dead horse. He talked about Dwayne how physical he can be. And you and I, we've alluded to this before. Who does Dwayne Haskins really remind you of? He reminds you of another number 7, that big brother in Pittsburgh. But I don't know if he likes lacrosse players as much as Ben Roethlisberger. Yeah.
Who he reminds me of to me?
Who's that?
Dwayne Haskins really looks like to me? Byron Leftwich.
I can see that. I can see that.
He's just a little bit more mobile. But he's got the same type of arm talent. You know, Byron Leftwich always looked down the field. What Byron Leftwich's problem was, he never really had the best O-line. And he couldn't move well enough to get away from the rush. But as far as talent, you know, and then again, you know, he didn't have a chance like most of our quarterbacks. You know, you got one shot only. If you do good, you do good. If you don't, you don't.
Right. I don't know. I don't know about the Byron Leftwich one, but I can see him as a hybrid of Big Ben. But like I said, I think maybe Byron Leftwich always came off as kind of a little bit more nonchalant, and I think that's why I just think he was missing intensity there. You know, it's a reason why he was beat out by David Garrard.
Yeah, but I'm talking about arm talent.
Right? Okay, arm talent. Yeah, I got you. Okay, yeah.
No, I ain't talking about personality. I'm talking about strictly on the field arm talent, how he moves in the pocket. When I give you a comparison to a player, I ain't talking about personalities.
Okay, yeah, I know.
Because it don't matter between the hashes what your personality is. If you can't perform, you know, you just can't perform.
Leftwich was trash. Leftwich was a worse athlete than Brady. Now he's Brady's offensive coordinator.
Leftwich wasn't trash, man. I'm telling you.
Oh, man. Hey, this is not me. I'm reading the comments.
I am too.
I read the comments.
I am too.
Oh, God. I don't know. I think he's going to make a heck of an offensive coordinator if he wears a halfway decent hat in Tampa Bay. He always wear them flat bills. I'm like, who is this guy? I'm like,
what they say, those that can play, and those who can't coach.
Right. Yeah. So I think, see, there you go. That's the message we're trying to send to you. He's going to be a heck of a coach. Who he actually played for, and who did he play for in
Jack Del Rio?
That's right. But Jack Del Rio saw something in David Garrard.
He saw David Garrard could run behind that, run away. Line was trash.
Lord, he had that. Leftwich had that big old country windup. That was his problem.
Yeah. But when he could get that throw out, he could make all the throws. He had that good velocity. Right. He could make all the throws. And that's the same thing with Haskins. He stands tall in the pocket. He can make all the throws. It's just a matter of him being able to put it together.
Right. And that's another thing Scott had brought up as well, too, was talking about his eyes. His eyes don't move from downfield. He's not going to look at the defensive line, and which he hangs in that pocket, and he has enough mobility. And I think 40 times with quarterbacks are like defensive linemen starting in the NFL. It's such an overblown stat. I would rather see them like have a drill where they do like they used to do in Madden, where you had to dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge, kind of like in dodgeball, and just throw something at them, see how far, what's their awareness, and how they can score. What's the score on that pocket presence? Because he's shown he can get out there and he can pick up yards. He's not fast. He's not Kyler Murray fast, but you don't need track speed at the quarterback position.
No.
You don't need that. As long as you're not now, if he was sitting in there, because the one thing about a guy of his size, he gets rid of the ball quick. It's not, and that ball is like a laser out of his hand.
Well, do you want to say Dan Marino?
I want to give him a little bit more success, but I could, I could see Dan Marino. I could see a little bit of Dan Marino. But like I said,
the only thing that I want to tell people, the only thing that when we say things like we compare players, it's not saying that they're going to have the same type of career. It's just the arm talent.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a guest in the building.
The one and only.
The one and only. What's up, Juan? How you doing, man? Can you hear us? He said he's here. Hey. All we're hearing is fuzz on him. Let me see. Let me know if you can hear us, Juan. I'll put you back. I'll put you right here for right now. Let's see. Can you hear us?
Let me see.
Hey, I can hear you now. Can you hear us?
I can't hear him.
Hold on.
He keeps on saying, hold on.
Tell him to go out and come back in.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Try to go back in and.
All right. Try that.
Okay.
Let me try.
Yeah, he's hearing us through the cast and everything. Haskins reminds me of Phillip Rivers.
That's a good comparison.
That
too.
is. And what type of offense did Phillip Rivers have his most success with?
in
the North Turner, in a Turner offense,
in the Air Coryell system.
Yeah, I mean, you got y'all. These people who are discounting this dude. I can't, and we're gonna talk about it ad nauseum because it's the only thing we can talk about. But the more you see, and the more you dig deep, see, people just like to look at the top layer. They don't want to dig. You know, they don't want to call the county government in there and to say, hey, can I get some zoning permits to go dig a little bit deeper? Dude, it's not illegal to look this stuff up. Go and look at it. If you want to be like, and I know people I'm not saying the people that come in here don't look this stuff up. I know they do. But I'm talking about these people who are ignorant enough to say this guy can't make it in the NFL. You are only as good as the tools you have.
Hey, as long as McCown's in the league, we'll never be able to say that Haskins can't make it in the league.
Yeah. Now, and then, and then you talk about, we keep on talking about Haskins. There was a ranking that came out from Chris Sims.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Mr. I can't beat the Redskins. Chris Sims, who lost to us I guess he's still bitter about their playoff game back in 2005 when Edel Shepard caught the ball, but he dropped it. And he ranked Dwayne Haskins 39th out of 40 behind Tua. There are only in front of Tua. That was the only person he was in front of. He was behind Trubisky.
Hubbard.
Oh, did he put Hubbard up there already too? Hubbard from Oregon?
Yes.
I'm
not lying. Go look at it. Boy, I was hot.
I'm about to break my own rule that I jumped on you about.
Cousin.
What the? Yeah. So
with the field goal.
Hey, you didn't hear it. I put that on mute. You probably read my lips, but You got to be kidding me.
Mm-hmm.
My school of thought was anyway that there are only 32 starting positions in the NFL. You can't tell me. One thing I say anyway. So he's going to rank behind Joe Burrow, who he beat out in college. Right or wrong?
Right.
Why? What? Like, right or wrong? Why? What don't we get about this? Like, he went to a school who has a pretty good defense that plays much better competition than Ohio State. He did good. He did great. Had one of the best seasons, probably the best season quarterbacks had. But I don't get why people are like, well, like Dwayne Haskins, he deserves to be at the bottom. So you mean to tell me there are a couple of backups in the league, and the only backup I could think that is better than Dwayne Haskins right now, and y'all help me out, Jameis Winston maybe?
That's it.
Because you can't tell me. You mean tell me Colt McCoy is better? Chase Daniel is better?
Case Keenum?
Case Keenum is better? The guy that he beat out? I'm really having a hard time conceptualizing this.
Hell, Jared Goff. Jared Goff.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm really low on Jared Goff. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't blame you. He doesn't have any more toys to play with. But I am finding it hard to believe. Now, if you want to say he's 30 out of 40, I will, I will play with that. I will be like, okay, I see where you're coming from. But the fact that this guy is not in the top 32 of quarterbacks in the NFL, that is appalling to me. All right, take your time on. That is ridiculous to sit here and think that he can't be ranked in that. You know what, Yemi? I don't think it's gonna be true. But if you want to say Daniel Jones ranks higher than Dwayne Haskins, but putting him in, like, if you say Daniel Jones is like 27 or something like that, and you got Dwayne Haskins at 30, I can live with that. I can
live with that.
I can live with it. For this year, I can live with it. Let's see, Juan's back in here. What's up, man? Can you hear us? What's up, man? Can you hear us, Juan? Can you hear me? Checking his. Well, let's see here. Okay. He's going to get his Mac. All right, buddy. I'll put you out here, and then just let us know when you get the Mac. Oh, Lord. Let's try again. Yeah, we couldn't hear you at first. Well, we could hear you at first, but you couldn't hear us.
I couldn't hear him.
Yeah, we could hear him. He just couldn't hear us. Through the sound, we could hear us on delay in the background, but we're gonna get him on here. We're gonna get Juan Gotti on here. Where's Amir? Amir, me and him been talking. He's doing good. He's been working and stuff. Hopefully we can get him back on here and chit-chat it up. But yeah, that's appalling. That's disgraceful, that the fact that they've disrespected this cat in that fashion. Like I'm finding it hard to. Now, if they throw Blaine Gabbert up in there, we're gonna really have some problems.
There we go.
We gonna have some problems.
My thing is, who is the Patriots quarterback?
Yeah, right, Jarrett Stidham. You can't tell me. Cam
This
Newton
is
better
the,
be there somewhere on there. Like, I don't get that.
I do.
I mean, I get it, but I still
And then my thing is, what did Chris Sims do while he was in the league?
nothing.
And the only reason why he started at Texas was because his daddy.
Right.
Because Major Applewhite was a much better quarterback than he was.
Let's see here.
Now you talking about getting somewhere because of who your daddy is.
Right. Preach. You ain't wrong.
This just.
You mean to tell me any of the quarterbacks on the Steelers roster is better than Dwayne Haskins outside of Ben Roethlisberger? But anybody that started last year for them, Mason Rudolph, Duck Hodges.
That's a
Gardner Minshew.
Gardner had a better season,
Right.
but nobody was prepared for Gardner Minshew. And at least he had an off-season program where they paid attention to him.
Right. Oh, he's going to flourish under that Jay Gruden offense.
Oh, yeah, he going to really. I'm so surprised that Colt McCoy didn't go down there.
Right. That love obsession with Colt McCoy.
I think they had a bromance. You talking about fallopian tubes.
Oh, Lord. They're light britches. I hear you, man. I hear you. I hear you, man. But yeah, Chris Sims ought to be ashamed of himself. His dad's a joke. He's a joke. Joke of an announcer. He wasn't that bad of a quarterback, but But yeah, and going back to we were talking about Del Rio, I'll flip from Haskins back to the defense. In going back to the linebackers, he talked about Pierre Louis, talking about how he's underrated. He can be he's an under radar player. He could be good at special teams. So Nate Kaczor, that might be a guy for you. Yeah, your boy Khalid Hudson. And then he talked about the secondary, Kendall Fuller, and how they talk about which I find is interesting. I never really heard Jay talk about this, or in Bill, they never really talked about it, or they talk about situational football. Like Minuski, I don't think ever really talked about situations and packages and all this good. Like they talk about packages because that's all coaches do, but they never really talk about situational football and having players play roles for certain situations and fitting their strengths. Jack talked about playing Kendall Fuller in multiple positions. You can play him outside, you can play him inside. We know that's where he flourishes is on the inside. Let's see here. Oh, he's ready now. Yeah. Harvey Clemens is done. I think he's going to be on the chopping block.
Yeah.
That's going to be one guy, barring injury to somebody. And like you said, Khalid Hudson is basically what he can do, but better. Let's see here. Make them devices. Let's see. We're gonna try this. We're gonna try this again. What's up, Juan? Can you hear us?
Hello.
Hey, man.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. What's up, buddy?
Had to switch to the MacBook, man. I don't know. The PC never does this, but it was just acting up today. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Mac. Can't go wrong with them. They'll get you straight.
Yeah.
How you been, dude?
Man, I've been good, man. And outside of this craziness that's been happening in the world, I've been, good, obviously, but
Mm-hmm.
obviously not the rest of the country. But
Yeah,
I've
man.
been chilling, man. Bored, but we gonna get through it. We gonna get through it.
Yeah, that's right. Dude, you have been burning it up, brother. Burning it up. And you hit your 1,000. So congratulations on that.
Congrats.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. And at your age, dude, you got some knowledge. And if y'all haven't checked them out, if you haven't checked out Juan Gotti, something wrong with you. You need to go and check him out. And I'll see if I can find and put his link up in the comments so y'all can go there. He's got his Nationals hat on.
Hey, man,
And
I gotta rock my.
hey, man, I got my blue one around here somewhere. I used to have it right here in front of me, but you know, good DC sports guy. Good DC sports guy, man. So what you think? So what do you think about the off season so far? We see your videos and everything. What good, bad, indifferent? What could we do better? What are we doing
Let's
right?
be real. Honestly, if this whole thing wasn't going on, our guys would be at minicamp right now in Ashburn. So we know they would be out there right now. But as far as right now, I'm happy with what we're doing, especially with. I know we got to worry about the whole team, but I just wanted to see Dwayne Haskins' progress, and he has been killing it. Like I really. Outside of okay, so I talk about the junkies all the time, and I don't know if you guys know who the junkies are, but
I hate them.
Unfortunately, we know who they
really
are.
hate the junkies, and they just hold on, let me get I wrote it down somewhere. I wrote a whole thing for the junkies.
We gonna get hey man. They call it 1067. The starts with a K, rhymes with fan. So
the can.
no, you know.
Oh, the clan.
Yeah, that's what they call it. No, I said these people are wild, man. Like I said, Dwayne Haskins walked down the street, only had orange sock on and had a blue sock on. More at the top of the hour. I mean, they're like the Fox News of DC sports.
Mm-hmm.
They really are. They are. Granted, I don't think a lot of them are Redskin fans in general. So I think that's what kind of kills them.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Here you go. You got your junkies rap sheet.
My bad. Hello.
Hey, we got you. We hear you.
All right. So what I was saying was the junkies. So a video. I know everyone hates the junkies. It's clear as day. You can read their comment section and literally no one says anything good about them. So what I was saying was, they made a video, right? So when Dwayne Haskins first came out and lost him 10 pounds, they said, "Oh, what do you want us to be happy or something? He's supposed to be doing that." But I was like, if he wasn't doing that, you guys would be like, "Why is he not working out?"
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a lose-lose situation for Dwayne.
Yeah, no, you're right, man. And that can be attributed to a lot of things on that radio station. And Grant and Danny, they're the same way. Chris Russell, he's so busy worried about Kirk Cousins, he doesn't even know about the development of Dwayne Haskins.
Oh, so you know their names? I don't even know their names,
dude. Lord, man, I tell you, Yemi will tell you this. I'm a research nut. Since when I was your age, dude, I was I would spend time just looking up crazy stuff, crazy facts. That's why I know obscure stuff that nobody would remember. Right. I remember what North Turner ate his last game as head coach of the Redskins. I'm joking, of course, but it's just something weird. It's weird. It's weird stuff like that.
Nah, it's not weird at all. Because there's a lot of people out here that's Redskins fans that don't know what they're talking about. But
right.
We ain't gonna speak on that. We ain't gonna speak on that.
No.
Yeah, but I'm just, as far as the junkies goes, I really don't care what they say, because we already know once the Redskins be good, they're gonna try to act like they were here from the start. But they don't. But they just talk so bad about them. How are you a DC area sports host, which the Redskins and DC sports don't really get put on that much? But how are you going to be a show about the DC sports, but talk so poorly about it? Now, God forbid, like we know, it hasn't been a lot of good things to talk about the Redskins and just DC sports in general. But still, you gotta make them. You gotta say some positive stuff about them here and there. You can't just wait. For an example, the Nationals. They never talked good about the Nationals, but since they won in that other championship, now they want to talk good about them. Like it's just like, come on, man.
Oh yeah, and then the best thing is when you're on Twitter and you call some of these guys out. That's the best thing in the world because they will get so defensive.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of this stems from the fact that like Dwayne Haskins really doesn't put up with anybody talking crap about him anyway, so he'll block them. He'll block them just like that. Boom. Which Ben Roethlisberger does it. Other quarterbacks do it. And, I had a buddy who was blocked by Steven Jackson because he was talking so much crap when he played in Atlanta. That's what they do. It's their social media. They can do what they want to. Like, you don't have to be friends with them. You have to cover them because that's your job. But nobody says you have to follow them on social media or anything like that. That is their personal thing. That's not a property of the Washington Redskins.
Right.
That's their safe space.
Right. That is their safe space. That is their information. But they're gonna sit there and talk all this crazy stuff. But if you don't follow him, follow Chris Russell on there, and it's hilarious how much he covers Kirk Cousins. I'm surprised he didn't cover Kirk Cousins after what's happened in Minneapolis over the past week and wondering what he's doing. But this is how crazy these people are. So
all right, well, let's get to some positive.
Yes,
stuff.
sir.
We
Yes,
we
sir.
done with the negative, man. I had to get that out of there because it's always bugging me, and I would love to just make an hour video. I can tell you an hour video just making fun of the Junkies because they are like so delusional. But let's get to some.
Message me. I'll come on there and do it with you. So
let's get some positive stuff.
Yeah, man. So have you been able to look at some of these press conferences that have been going on? Like you had Scott Turner on Wednesday, Jack was on Thursday, and then they had special teams coach on Tuesday talking to the media. You get an opportunity to listen to any of those?
Yeah, I got a chance to listen to Scott and Del Rios, but I didn't get a chance to listen to the special teams coordinator because, quite frankly, we know Tressway is still going to go out and do his thing, pin opponents deep every punt, be the best punter in the NFL for the next 10 years to come. As far as special teams goes, I want Gibson to be back there or Isaiah Wright. I do not want Steven Sims to be back there because I want him to be more. At first this year, we wanted him to be special teams and slot to, find his role. But I feel as though that now he got his role as, being a slot receiver. We need him primarily worrying about slots. So with that being said, I know that they were talking about Gibson being, as far as the special teams coordinator go, he was talking about Gibson being back there as kick returner, which would be dope. You know what I mean? Help him find his role, and then the following year, maybe he'll become a wide receiver running back Christian McCaffrey type. But as far as the offensive coordinator and Del Rio goes, defense, I did get a chance to watch their press conferences, and what stood out to me the most about Scott Turner is how he was praising Dwayne Haskins. Quite frankly, you did not see none of that last year when we first got to training camp. Jay Gruden didn't speak anything positive about Dwayne Haskins. What else I loved about Scott Turner's press conference is really how he still tries to involve and wants to involve Adrian Peterson in the offense, although he is 35 years old. But hey, he's not running like he's 35. He literally should have had 1,000-yard seasons back to back since we got him here in Washington 2018. He should have had 1,000. This past year, he should have had 1,000. So 35 years old, still putting up near 1,000 yards is just great. And then as far as the defense goes, I just Jack Del Rio is going to be a monster, man. Like the stats proves it. From the Panthers having them the worst in the league to second best, I just feel like the stats proves it. And he was unfairly treated in Oakland. Oakland led them 12-4 and got out of there that fast, man. He was the best thing to ever happen to Oakland in this era. Oakland, I just feel like that he wasn't given the fair opportunity in Oakland. I think how many years did he have there? 2, 3? I think
3.
He at least 5.
3.
At least 5 years. At least.
Yeah.
Because he gave him that 12-4 season, and I was like, that's the best I've seen Oakland play in a while.
Yep. And they probably would have hosted a playoff game if Derek Carr hadn't got hurt
Yeah,
back in
definitely.
16, and
Mhm.
then they struggled his last year, but they were gunning at the bit for Gruden. But no, you're absolutely right about Jack Del Rio, and Yemi and I have been talking about it. This defense they're gonna eat this year. I think who benefits the most on defense this year is going to be Montez Sweat. I'll keep on saying that he's going to get. If he stays healthy, he's guaranteed to get double-digit sacks just because of people focusing on stopping Chase at the beginning of the season. He is going to be that dude. And I'm not saying Chase isn't going to eat, but he's going to bring a whole new dynamic. In his other side, they're going to have to plan for that. He's going to keep coordinators up all night.
Oh, yeah,
And
definitely.
but the secondary
Yeah,
too.
the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I want to say about the secondary is, okay, that's how I put it, right? Tell me if you beg to differ. If we did not have this dominant front seven that we're made to have or assumed to have, as far as Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Deron Payne, man, we already said everybody. But as
Mm-hmm.
far as the secondary goes, if we did not have a front seven that was this good, I won't understand why people say the secondary is so horrible. And trust me, it is. But with how good this front seven is going to be, you don't need a star-studded secondary. You don't need a Darrell Reeves, Antonio Cromartie secondary as far as your cornerback goes. Our secondary is solid for how good our front seven is, and they're not going to be they're not going to be asked to be covering for at least more than I want to say 5 seconds, because if they are, then they know they're going to get torched some plays. But our front seven is going to be too good, and quarterbacks are not going to have time to be able to exploit our poor cornerback play as far as Ronald Darby. And I love Fab, man. I think Fab could be our best corner if he gets the amount of reps.
Yeah. Yeah, talking about, like I said, Fabian, he's due for a good season where he's actually healthy, and now you're repairing him back up with Kendall Fuller. So you add credibility right there. Sean Davis, who is a favorite of Yemi's, is going. He's probably going to be better than what's advertised. And you throw Landon Collins back in that mix, you've already got somebody, that box safety, who can play, who's really good at what he does. They're going to give the defensive line opportunities, and communication is key. Knowing where people are supposed to be, and I think that's the lost art. And you could tell if you watch some of the Redskin games, your Mike linebacker was a guy who was 1 year in the system, and that was John Bostic. And there were times where you could tell John Bostic was like, what in the world? Where, like, no, you're not supposed to be there. No, we need to change the offense and everything. Instead of worrying about focusing on the quarterback and changing adjustments there, he was worried about getting people straight on the field. And you can't win that way.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So you bring up that good point. We don't have to have that defense that is that secondary that's elite, and you've got your Cromarties and your Patrick Petersons and everything in there. You can be good with average to slightly above average players.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as far as that goes, I just feel as though, like you said, this front seven is gonna be too good. So I'm not really worried about our secondary too much, because I feel as though Fab can hold it down. I mean, towards the end of the season last year, he showed you why he was a good number two. He showed you why he was the second round pick from UCLA a couple years back. I mean, I was hyped when we drafted him in 2017. So he's finally starting to get into that groove. I think we forced him to be in the slot, and we know he's not good in the slot. But once he got to the outside, he showed you why he was that second round pick. Because, I mean, he had 4 interceptions in 2 games last year. So I feel as though if he get a whole season out there at the edge, I think he can be something special.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hey, the funny thing was, when I did a video on him, his coach actually commented his high school coach, I think, commented in there and said, y'all getting a good one. The fact that he had the injuries at UCLA is kind of what hurt his draft stock, or he probably would have been like in the first round. kind of
Oh
like
yeah.
Kendall
Right.
Fuller. So, yeah, man. I mean, that good stuff on that defensive side of the ball. And then you like you said, you ready to see Dwayne Haskins.
Mhm.
This whole offense is going. I think is going to be new. Uh, we're gonna have the blend of old players in there, but we're gonna have a whole new offense pretty much. Um, Dwayne Haskins, he's gonna take that second step. But who are you looking forward to seeing? Like 3 or 4 players who you looking forward to seeing outside Dwayne Haskins on this offense next year?
I'm a big Terry I mean not Terry McLaurin. I'm a big Kelvin Harmon guy. A big Kelvin Harmon guy. And I feel as though that a lot of people think AGG is gonna be the number two, which I wouldn't mind, but I feel as though Kelvin Harmon wasn't given that fair shot yet, and I feel as
Mhm.
though Kelvin Harmon is gonna be mean. I mean, look at the Lions game, look at the games towards the stretch of the season when the team started to pick it up. It literally took 4 guys to pull down Kevin Harmon, and they didn't even pull him down. He just was like, "I'm not getting nowhere." I mean, it was a blown play dead. That play where Dwayne Haskins swung it across the middle. He was running towards the end zone, but it literally took 4 people to take him down. And like I said, he didn't even get taken down. The play just got blown dead. So I just feel as though Kelvin Harmon. I mean, Dwayne Haskins already calls him Baby Julio. So I feel as though Kelvin Harmon is number one. Another guy that I'm excited to see on the offensive side of the ball is none other than what's his name? Randy Moss's son, Thaddeus Moss. I'm ready excited to see Thaddeus Moss because I want to see him, blossom. I know it's gonna take time, but I just want to see a good blocking tight end. It's been a while since we had one of those. I mean, I know Jeremy Sprinkle is cool and all, but we haven't had the best of both worlds. Now, what I mean by that is Jeremy Sprinkle is a great blocker, but he doesn't help us in the passing game. I mean, Dwayne Haskins had 2 wide open touchdowns for Jeremy Sprinkle last year, and he dropped them. So with Thaddeus Moss bringing his solid catching ability to the Washington Redskins and his great blocking ability, I just feel as though he's going to have a great season upcoming. If not this year, probably within 2021. And then the last person that I'm excited to see is a healthy Darius Geis. A healthy Darius Geis, and I'm gonna throw 4 in there. I'm gonna throw Antonio Gibson in there. Antonio Gibson is really a threat, and he can kill you out the backfield. He can kill you when he lines up as a receiver. So those my big 4 that I'm excited to see. Trust me, I'm excited to see everybody on this offense. But outside of Dwayne Haskins, those are the 4 I'm excited to see. Because we already know we're expecting Terry McLaurin to be great, so that's why I didn't throw him in there. But those are my 4.
Okay. And then there's a big question, and we are still constantly debating it. We don't know what the left side of this offensive line is going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest question. I think center, right tackle, Yimmy's boy Morgan Moses is going to be there, and then
Man,
Brandon Sheriff is going to be on that right side. So the right side's good, but the left side, Dwayne Haskins' blind side, who do you see panning out?
Well, I know a lot of people think Sadiq Charles isn't going to be ready week 1, but I think you have to throw him out there in the fire. I mean, I know you have to get him a chance to develop, and I know he's going to. I'm saying this now before the season even starts, so don't be surprised. I mean, he's going to get Dwayne Haskins killed on some plays. I mean, let's just be real. That's what's going to come with the young offensive line or young left side of the offensive line. You got to be ready for that, Dwayne. I mean, you can get mad, but you got to realize ain't no Trent Williams is over there protecting you. So it's going to be some bumps in the road, but I feel as though Sadiq Charles is going to replace Trent Williams. Going to become a Pro Bowler within these next 2-3 years. As his NFL career starts. I mean, just look at how talented he was in LSU. He gave literally Joe Burrow at least 10 seconds in the pocket on multiple occasions. So it's not like he can't block. I know the only weakness that he has is short arms, and he has to get that strength up. But I mean, get with the strength and conditioning coach, and during this times, lift at your house or lift at whatever your local gym, whatever you got to do here, and you're gonna get strong. So he doesn't really have a serious weakness, because the weakness that he does have, like I said, is strength, and you can easily work on that. So what I see as far as this left side of the line goes, I see Sadiq Charles, or maybe even people are sleeping on Cornelius Lucas. But I feel as though in 2021, we're going to bring Cornelius Lucas back to replace Morgan Moses, and he play right side and Sadiq play left. And then the left guard position, I'm thinking giving it to Wes Martin, but it should be good to see Wes Martin and Wes Schwartzer fight it out for the left guard position, because Wes Martin did come along at the end of the last season. So if he can build off that, it should be a great competition going into training camp.
Yeah.
My issue with Morgan Moses has always been, why do we have him out there on this island? Because he's slowed down. If we move him inside, I think if we kick him inside and let him play left guard, and then put Lucas at right tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing I can say about Morgan Moses, and people don't like him, I like the guy because he always plays. He's rarely injured, and for his mistakes, at least he's consistent. He's there.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only reason why he gets all those offside penalties and those holding penalties is because you got a man playing that can't kick out that fast.
Mm-hmm.
So he needs somebody around him to encapsulate him. But if on running plays, he's all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I can agree. He's not no Trent Williams who can be on the island by himself, obviously.
Right.
I never really thought of putting him in a left guard position because I mean, if you would have said right guard, I mean, Sheriff, obviously, if you would have said right guard, I mean, I could see it. But as far as him being on a left guard, then you are asking him to, learn a new position, whole all a new side of the offensive line. Now I know you might be saying that's not that hard to grasp, but I mean it really is if you think about it. Like try putting Trent Williams on the right side of the line, you might think, oh, it's gonna be good. He can learn that fast, but trust me, learning a new side of an offensive line after you're being, so used to playing on your left side or in this case your right side, learning the opposite side of the line is going to be difficult. But I think he could get it done. So I mean, your point right there, it would be something to watch. I wouldn't, mind trying something new.
Well, I mean, even if you kick Sheriff over to play left, both of them. I mean, Sheriff can play down the line.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have the confidence to put him there, then you move him to right tackle.
Right.
But then you weaken. You don't know what one whole side is going to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only problem that I'm seeing with it. But my 4 players I think that we need to look out for coming up in this year is Calvin Harmon, because the boy is amazing. And he slept on. He didn't get the snaps that I think he should have gotten last year. I also think Steven Sims.
Right.
On the defense, I'm ready to see what Reuben Foster can do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also looking for Sean Taylor. Sean Taylor.
Davis.
That gets me so caught up. And then he's wearing 36 too. That just gets me caught up.
Yeah. What did I say? Sheriff was a left tackle out of college.
Yeah.
Morgan Moses was a reflection of his coach. Gruden's gone. Bill Callahan really worked with him. And then who took Harmon's snaps last year? Who started opposite of McClure? Yeah, Paul Richardson. That's right, Paul
Mm-hmm.
Richardson. Yeah, they did wait. They based it pretty much. He showed up in some games, but Paul Richardson was there. I forgot all about.
I think yeah, I could say that. Other than obviously Josh Norman, I feel as though Paul Richardson robbed us too. Because I mean,
he was a
we
waste.
paid him 4 years, $30 million. I don't remember that exact contract. It was somewhere around there. But he really, he robbed us. He robbed us.
Yeah,
He did not pan out at all. We wanted him to be that speed receiver alongside who was it at the time? Josh Doctson, and he just never panned out. So I mean,
no.
Yeah.
I can see where you're coming from there. Then B9 Nizzle said that where is that? Oh, he said Charles needs to be a left guard. I don't know if I said that already or not, but could either of y'all see him at the left guard spot just because of his size and his build, and then put Lucas there on the left tackle?
I can see that too.
Yeah, go ahead.
What about you, Juan?
All right, so I mean, I never really thought about putting him at left guard only because he was predominantly left tackle. But I mean, I guess we're all for trying out something new. We can try that. But I mean, we have Cornelius Lucas obviously, and we have Wes Martin and Wes Schwartz fighting it out for the left guard position. So I feel as though we're all stacked at the left guard and somewhat because both Wes Schwartz and Wes Martin are talented left guards. So I'm saying let the guy learn his natural position, which is left tackle. You know, don't switch anything up.
Okay, that's fair enough. And then you don't forget you got Ishmael now on that offensive line, and he can play all three in interior positions. Y'all are making excuses for Harmon. AGG is better than Harmon. Harmon will dog the fourth corner.
All I can say is go back and watch Harmon's tape from college.
That's all I can say. You gotta watch Harmon's tape from college. You just watch the limited snaps that he did get in last year. He literally dominated last year. Like, come on, huh?
He didn't drop any passes last year. That was when he was targeted and the ball hit his hands, he dropped nothing.
And I wish we could show the highlights, man, but you already know how YouTube.
Yeah, you know how YouTube is. So
yeah, I wish I can just do a film breakdown right now, just show B Nizzle. Man, like I said, AGG, he's cool, he's good, but like I wouldn't be mad if we go AJG, but I'm just like give Kevin Harmon a shot, man. You know, he wasn't a Terry McLaurin. He didn't get Terry McLaurin kind of snaps. He wasn't a day one starter. He had to find his role. So I'm saying give him Terry McLaurin snaps, and you're gonna see a real difference in Kevin Harmon. Because playing him up, it's not like he did anything bad last year. Actually, I don't remember him doing anything bad. I recall him taking advantage of his chances. You saying 300 yards is dominating, but look at the guy. He didn't get the amount of snaps. 365 yards and 30 receptions is pretty good for a guy that literally didn't get into the game until I want to say, like, let's say, I mean, he got snaps here and there, but like actually getting in the game on multiple occasions, he literally didn't get, that until I want to say like week 8 to like week 10. That's where he literally started to, come along.
Yeah, and I'm trying to pull up his
I know
his stats. I'm trying to pull up his stats in college.
Yeah, I think that on my video. My bad. Go ahead.
Nah. You're good.
My video, I meant to say 365. I was thinking of I think Terry. That's what I was thinking of when I said that. But I mean, we all know Harmon had 365 yards with 30 receptions, and he's going to get his first touchdown this year.
I think he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, and about him too is the knock on Harmon is his speed. That's his biggest thing. That's what people knock him about. And I say, if you don't think we have a tight end on the roster, what did they do with Niles Paul? Didn't they move him to tight end from wide receiver?
Yep.
Could that? Yeah. That's a possibility just with that build up, and then you bring in your AGG out there on the outside, but you have Harmon down there who might be able to play in tight end, maybe put on a little bit of weight. We don't know, but last year. Go ahead.
You trying to get him fitted for some bubble wrap?
Yeah, pretty much.
They killing me trying to move receivers inside. You gonna get them set up for bubble wrap, man. And
what's up, Damien? Oh Lord.
Izzo says he'll be good, but he's not gonna be a starter. What you got to say about that?
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Sorry, I disagree.
Yeah, I got you.
I think Harmon could.
But at the end of the day, and I'll say this, and this might be the most neutral thing I can say about the whole situation. Last year was a wash. There were a 3-13 team, and young players had an opportunity to take advantage of the situation that was given to them. Whether they did good, whether they did bad, whatever, they grew and they're moving on next year. You got to leave that in the past, and it's a whole different squad, a whole different team now. So you can't go wrong. It's about building a competition. For the first time, and I'm going to say since I can remember, I don't really know who's going to make this team.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are players that you can, like we talked about the linebacker spot. There's only pretty much one guaranteed cut we think that we can call. And that's Harvey Clemens, and you're probably going to have to cut two other players. Who's that going to be? You want to cut Thomas Davis? Probably not. John Bostic, you just re-upped him, so you see something there. Who else in Hudson? So, and then you look at it with the wide receivers. Which one of these young guys are going to come out? Or, they're not going to get a veteran unless something injury-wise. That's another thing, Juan. So what do you think about this? And I think you might have done a video about it. About these Antonio Brown rumors.
I avoided making a video about it just because, to the simple fact is, like, I would love, like, all right, let me be real for an example. put all the mental stuff that you guys say about Antonio Brown, all the crazy stuff. Stop lying. You Redskins fans know they would love to have Antonio Brown on this roster. I don't care what nobody says. I would love Antonio Brown on this roster, man. I don't care. I'm all for it. But at the same time, when I make my videos about it, I'm like, I gotta be more realistic about it, because I gotta say, we gotta sit down and be like, oh, we know how Antonio Brown is. We know that he's gonna have his crazy moments. But I'm just like, all give the guy a chance for, like, on a million bill. Don't just throw all the money at him yet. Let him go out there and prove it. But then at the same time, is Antonio Brown gonna want that? But I mean, if you want to get back into the NFL, you gonna take it. You're gonna take it.
Right.
So I'm all for getting Antonio Brown, but at the same time, it's just like, you got to be more realistic with yourself. You got to know what you're getting in with yourself. And at the same time, I feel as though Antonio Brown would still be a Patriot to this day if that girl or whoever came out and said that he had charges against him. It's just, isn't it weird how he starts doing well with the Patriots that one game versus Miami? He scores a touchdown. Then they release him the final week because the girls came out and said that he had charges against him. I think he would still be a Patriot to this day.
Yeah.
I hear you. And you're going to call me a liar, but I'll go on the record and I'll tell anybody this, till I'm blue in the face. I don't want Antonio Brown. I have never wanted Antonio. The only time I want Antonio Brown is when I'm playing Madden. That's the only time, because you know what? You can't build culture in Madden, right? But I just think that if something happened to him when Vontaze Burfict knocked him out, like we could just tell. And I don't think when you're trying to establish a new culture and build these young players up, that's something you just don't need. Now, if we're talking about a wide receiver that was on the free, now if you told me like a Larry Fitzgerald, someone in that vein, okay, I'll talk turkey with Larry Fitzgerald. If Julio was in that spot, yeah, we'll talk turkey with Julio. I don't, because the media is going to be up the Redskins button. That's just what we don't need. And B9 Nizzle, he's making a hashtag, no blonde mustaches. We would only want that. I love it, man. We need to hashtag that, no blonde mustaches. We would only want Brown if Gruden was here, because we would have been desperate. I hear you, but yeah, I want to deal with this headache, and I want happiness and peace for once. We don't need the football version of Bruce Allen, the player version. But I mean this. I think this team's gonna be all right. Somebody said 10-6. I think B Nizzle said 10-6. You said in the comments, what'd you say, 7-9?
Yeah,
I think that's what you said, right, Juan?
I did a whole NFC East prediction, and let me know what we can talk about that too. So just let me know how y'all feel. So I said 10-6 for
Yeah.
the Cowboys. I said 8-8 for the Eagles. I said not 7-9 for the Redskins, and I said 5-11, 6-10 for the Giants. I think it's gonna be a real tight division, but I feel as though the Cowboys have the best, most talented team. So them and the Eagles could easily be reversed though. So I can easily say the Eagles go 10-6, Cowboys go 8-8. It's gonna be back and forth every year. But yeah, that's my prediction. Cowboys at the top 10-6, Eagles second 8-8, Redskins 7-9, Giants 5-11.
Record wise, I kind of agree with you. I don't see anybody in the NFC East winning 10 games still because of the situation in Dallas with Dak, and now you bring Andy Dalton in. Oh yeah, that's probably another quarterback Haskins ranks behind Andy Dalton too. So, but I think something's gonna go wrong with that in Dallas. Philadelphia, I don't know what Philadelphia's deal is because I think that I think they're more talented defensively in the NFC East, but I just can't get a grasp on what they are.
Mhm.
I don't know. I think we're going to be, like I said, we're going to be better. I still got us 8-8, 7-9 right now. But that's just me looking at last year and what we've added this year. Until we get out there and hear what's going on in training camp and injuries, this is going to change before we're in the last day of May. There's 2 months. We got 2 months until this stuff starts to get legit.
Ooh, hey, hey, 2 months. This all as far like I think it'll be going faster if we had
Right.
OTAs and train and mini camp, but it's going fast. 2 months to preseason. Woo. I cannot
True.
wait.
Yeah.
2 months to
Yeah.
preseason, man.
In less than 2 months to training camp, hopefully. So,
Yeah. I think they're gonna have training camp. Now, most importantly for me, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way, because as much as I love football, I love baseball, man. So I need my MLB. I need my Nationals. I need more importantly, I just need Juan Soto, man. They gonna cut the season short. Finally, they're gonna cut. I made a bold prediction too. I said Juan Soto was gonna win NL MVP, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen because they cut the season short. So I mean, we can go back to football right after this. But as much as I need my football, I need baseball, man. I've
I
been
hear you.
craving it, and it's just like I need it. You can look. I'm gonna show you. You can look at my background here. Let me see.
I ain't mad at you, man.
Look at my back. You see
There
my
you go. There you go. Got Juan Soto.
man. So, but back to the training camp thing. I think it's going to happen. The NFL already said they have plans with they have 2020 season plans with the fans in stands. So I think it's going to happen. I think training camp is going to get on time. Mini camp is supposed to happen somewhere in June. So I think stuff is going to start going back to normal. Now the only thing that I can say as far as the sports world goes is I disagree with the NBA. I think the NBA should just shut it down for the rest of the season because they have plans of coming back in June with some games of the regular season left going, and then they're going to have playoffs too, which is going to take into August, and that's normally the NBA's off season. So you're going to have playoffs that takes up until probably August, September. What happened to their off season? September, October is where NBA season starts back up. So that's just gonna knock everything off. And I think this coronavirus stuff happened at the right time for the NFL because the NFL is the least amount of the least sport team that's getting or sports league getting affected by it. Hockey got their season shut down, NBA and MLB. So the NFL is just chilling. They're just waiting for this
Yeah.
to come back up. I think the NFL is gonna be good.
Oh yeah, we should that should get ironed out. Now I'm gonna miss hockey, and hopefully when that comes back, get to see the Capitals.
Oh, you think you're
Possibly,
yeah?
dude. I'm DC sports all the way. Wizards, Capitals, Nationals. If they got a team in DC in that area, that's my squad. That's who I roll with.
I just want an Oshie autograph, man. That's all I want.
Yeah,
I want an Oshie
the
autograph.
grade 8, man. It's all about the grade 8. He just Oshi's just a role player. Grade 8 or number 19 Backstrom. You got to get them.
Do you think we're gonna have to, like, once Ovechkin retires? Do you think we're gonna have to rebuild?
Oh yeah, probably so. I think once
Uh
him and Backstrom are done, it's gonna go into rebuild mode.
I've been wanting to talk about hockey for like just this second right here, but I've been wanting to replace Hogby. Hogby's solid,
Yeah,
he's good, but he's just been like towards the end of the season before they shut this down, he was playing really not the Hogby that I know from the 2018 playoffs. That's not
right.
the Hogby I was seeing from towards the season before they shut it down. But I mean, we can roll with Hogby.
Yeah. And talking back about football, I feel like we're putting you on the defense all the time, but let's see here. 8-8 would be respectable considering how tough the 2020 schedule is. Yep, our predictions are based on last year's stats, and we aren't the same team. Okay. Dallas has a new coach, Skins new coach, Giants new coach. How does Dallas get 10 wins? No Dak, but 10 wins. Well, they've got Dak. And what's up, DC? How you doing, buddy? That is interesting because Brandon Graham actually came out this week and said something. Brandon Graham, who's the defensive end for the Philadelphia Eagles, came out and was chit-chatting it up, talking about, we have an edge on everybody. I didn't have to look up the article to even know what he was alluding to. When I saw it, I picked up my phone for a second. I was like, oh, I know what he's talking about. Because Doug Peterson is still there. And he's a head coach. There's not a lot of turnover there. You still have they did fire the offensive coordinator. I think they brought somebody else in there, but Doug Peterson calls the plays, and Jim Schwartz is still on the defensive side of the ball. So there's not a lot of transition there. But it's going to be real. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how these guys work. The other three teams are going to work. So us, Dallas, and the Giants. Joe Judge, I'm saying it here, man. They're not going to. I don't think, because we don't. They are the biggest. Well, what's the word I'm looking for? Wild card. They're the biggest wild card in this division, because you don't know how he's going to run that team. He doesn't have a track record. Yeah. They're the biggest wild card. Now, do I say they're going to be successful? No, but they are the biggest gambit there. We saw what we were last year down the stretch. We what Ron Rivera could do in the end, and that makes us interested in there. And then Mike McCarthy. Was Aaron Rodgers the reason for his success, or was he the coach? That's a big gambit there for them as well in Dallas. So,
yeah,
as far
as that goes, I literally I made in my video that I uploaded today on how the Washington Redskins can win NFC East. It's funny how we're talking about this. I said, would you rather have Mike McCarthy or Ron Rivera? And the reason I said that is because if you look, I said, yes, there's a reason why. I said, there's a reason why Green Bay got rid of Mike McCarthy. And I was like, for Cowboys fans, you can say the same reason why they got rid of Ron Rivera. But I mean, at the same time, if you really looked into it, David Tepper, who is the owner of the Carolina Panthers, said the reason why we got rid of Ron Rivera is because it was just time for a fresh start. It was time for something new. Ron Rivera has been their coach for, I want to say, 10 plus years. So it was just time for something new. Now, if he was winning on a consistent basis, I don't think they would have got rid of him. But as far as the Cowboys and Mike McCarthy goes, it was a reason why Green Bay got rid of Mike McCarthy. And the reason for that was an outdated scheme. Mike McCarthy was living in the early 2000s. And what makes Bill Belichick and Sean Payton and John Harbaugh, all them guys good, and Andy Reid too, is that yes, they're older coaches, but they can adapt to the new wave of football. That wasn't what Mike McCarthy was doing. So hopefully him laying off for this 1 year helps him be, well, as far as now him being the Cowboys coach, I hope it didn't help him. But as far as just being a coach, period, I hope he understood that this isn't the early 2000s anymore, dude. This is a new wave of football where it's heavily predominant by the passing game, Patrick Mahomes. It's not the early 2000s where it's just run hard-nosed defense. It's not that anymore. So, and that's what he failed to realize, and that's why they struggled them last years in Green Bay. And you see, I think, like you said, I think it was Aaron Rodgers that was carrying Mike McCarthy's success, because you see, as soon as he got Matt LaFleur in there, what happened? Top seed in the NFC. Top seed in the NFC, beat Seattle. They lost the they lost to the 49ers, who I think if it was in Green Bay, it would have been a closer game. But I mean, they, of course, 49ers had that dominant defense, and they were in San Francisco, so they had the home field advantage. But back to my point, you see, once they got a coach that related to this now passing game, all the head coaches should be young now. So your Sean McVays, your Matt LaFleur's, and that's crazy to say, Kevin O'Connell. That's crazy to think all the coaches I just named were once Redskins coaches, and look how successful they are now. But back to my point, this NFL wave now is young head coaches. Young head coaches. So therefore, you need a young head coach. And to succeed, you don't need, but it will be better as far as your offensive scheme goes. And that's what Mike McCarthy failed to realize in Green Bay. He still tried to run that old offense that was outdated for 20 years. So now that they have that in Dallas, I really don't know how that's going to work unless he gives Kellen Moore full control. I mean, because Kellen Moore was doing a great job but in the middle towards the end of the season is where it started to slow down. But I don't know.
Mm-hmm. You know, I and the one thing about these young head coaches are how they deal with adversity, man. Sean McVay, you look at this right now, this team has taken a step back since they made it to the Super Bowl. So, and you know, and Ron's not old. He's 3 years. In 3 years, he'll be 60. But, you know, I think you've got to have a good balance of young and old. I think it's more benefits you if your offensive coordinator is younger and your defensive coordinator is older.
Right.
Kind of like what the Redskins have. Yeah. Like you got to have that combination, or if your head coach is young, you know, old, vice versa. So so you have that mix of perspective. Go ahead.
No, yeah. So what I was saying, back to your point, I was just making your point more clear. Which you're saying that you have to have an offensive coordinator that's young, or whatever you said right there. Perfect example would be Kansas City. Old coach Andy Reid calling the defensive plays, young offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy. So your point is, I'm just making your point more valid because Eric
Bieniemy is old.
Yeah,
he old too.
I mean, but
he's 50.
Like his scheme, his scheme doesn't make him, you know, seem.
What you need?
A better example would be before I think they fired him or he just retired. A better example for you would be Sean McVay and Wade Phillips. That would be a perfect example.
What you need, let me say it like this though. I think what you need is somebody that's got an innovative mind, right? That can see where the league is going and use their strengths and weaknesses in positions. What we've seen the NFL go to is more of a specialist role. You have players that play packages and different groups, and people that can take advantage of that tend to flourish in this league now. And you know, nobody's running a base defense, and no one's running pretty much a 21 offense anymore. Except for John Gruden.
Right. Yeah. No, but no, I get your point there, and you know, you're absolutely right. You get these guys. I mean, you're right, because you have to get somebody that's got that 2020 vision, pretty much, so they can see going forward. You know, I think that's what kind of got the Redskins in trouble. You didn't have an innovative mind as a head coach. You had a guy who wanted to do stuff, did stuff his way, and had players in his system, but he didn't capitalize on his talent, the potential of his talent. So, right. And I think that is key. And that's why I say I bring up Sean McVay. Sean McVay fired Wade Phillips for what reason?
Because their defense sucked.
Their defense sucked, but they've been spending money. They spent money on the defense, and then they couldn't re-sign half these players either. So I mean, and Wade Phillips had one bad year as defense coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 years coming off of 2 years, he went to Super Bowl 2 out of the previous 3 years. Yeah, that's right.
I'm just not a fan of an odd front anyway. So when you got these, I'm just not a fan of those defenses at all.
Those 34s and everything, and those, yeah. Respect leadership makes you a head coach. That's right. Knowing plays and players gets you a coordinator position. Absolutely, positively. That is that's 110% correct. Because you
want to go crazy?
So y'all have any teams you need to look out for this year outside of us? We know we're gonna be a team that people gonna watch out for. But we thinking who's
as far as like the whole NFL or just
in the NFL. So I get one out of the AFC, one out of the NFC.
Well, besides us, I feel is the one out of the that's a tough one. Out of the AFC, I think it's gonna be. I think I would say probably Buffalo out of the AFC. I think I would say that. Let me see. Let me look it up right quick. As far as all of the teams, I think I would go Buffalo for the AFC. Let me see.
Okay.
Buffalo. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, Buffalo probably for the AFC. And then you said sleeper teams.
Yep.
I feel as though everybody feels that before I go into my NFC team, I just feel as though like I hate how the Bucks go from being one of the worst, but them getting Tom Brady, they just everyone has them being as the number 1 seed in the playoffs in the NFC East or NFC that is. But another sleeper team that we could possibly say, but I can honestly see why people would say no is because they're in a tough division. But the Cardinals for the NFC, I can see them because they have that young high power offense and led by Cliff Kingsbury. Just added, if not the second best receiver. It's always 1A, 1B with me as far as Michael Thomas and DeAndre Hopkins goes. But yeah. I would have the Cardinals there, but I can also see why they can say not Arizona because of how stacked the NFC West is. You have the 49ers, you have the Rams, who are declining but still have on paper one of the best defenses in the NFL. And then you also have obviously the Seattle Seahawks, who are always Super Bowl contenders. So that's really a tough division. But as far as the NFC AFC goes, I think I would go Arizona, and then for the AFC, I think I would either go Tennessee or Buffalo.
Tennessee or Buffalo. Okay. I can see. I like the Buffalo. I like Buffalo.
The Broncos too. I forgot about the Broncos. Because that
I like the Broncos.
Yeah. That wide receiving core. I forgot Jerry Jeudy, obviously Cortland Sutton, and they added one more. I forgot his name, but you can go ahead now.
Did Jerry Jeudy go to Buffalo or he went to I thought he went to Oakland. Denver. Oh yeah, that's right. He went to. That's right. They drafted 2 wide receivers. Yeah, and you pair him with Drew Lock, who had who I thought could have made a good shot if he had started. He probably could have been Rookie of the Year because just the way he played, and in the game he played against Houston,
right?
Like Houston, they beat the brakes off Houston. Somebody saying the Colts too. I think the Colts are going to have problems at quarterback.
Yeah, definitely. I think Jacoby Brissett and Georgia quarterback. No.
Oh.
Was it Georgia quarterback? I think it's either Georgia's quarterback or it was Eason. I think it was Eason. If it wasn't Eason, then it was
Okay.
Georgia's
Yeah.
quarterback. I can't remember.
I don't remember where Fromm went to.
I think Fromm went to Indianapolis, or I think it was Eason that went to Indianapolis. But they did get Michael Pittman, which was a steal. But let me see.
Fromm went to Buffalo, so it's Eason and
I think it's Eason. Let me double check.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. I got you right here.
Yeah, yep. It was Eason that went to Indianapolis.
Okay.
Yep, Fromm went to Buffalo. I don't know why. I guess, but I mean, I thought he would have more of a chance to start.
Yeah, the Broncos loaded up on offense. Good night.
They
Melvin Gordon. They got Melvin Gordon now. I forgot about that. Philip Lindsay is already there.
And then the wide receiving core. Whew.
They signed Melvin Gordon.
Yep.
Yeah, they got Melvin Gordon. Yeah.
And on top of that, they're tight ends. Let me fix that.
Oh, Fant.
No,
Yeah.
They got Fant.
No,
Yeah.
Fant.
Yeah.
That's a that's gonna be Chiefs and Broncos should be a high scoring game. Well, on paper.
I still think Cleveland.
You know, everybody's talking about Oakland. Not Oakland. Yeah.
I think Cleveland has a very good shot.
They did get Albert O. Cleveland. I mean, yeah.
I don't.
I think it's easy to explain.
They're like us.
Yeah, go ahead.
The one thing about Cleveland that I'm always concerned about is they hire these head coaches that are like third, fourth tier flavor of the month coordinators. You're Kevin Stefanski. Now he did add Callahan as his offensive line coach. So, you know, he does have some establishments there. I don't know who they hired as the DC, but I don't trust Cleveland to be good. I think Baker's too much of a head case. Like Baker is not. I wish if Baker was as good as he thought he was, they would be all right. They would be Cleveland. I would be like, yeah, I got Cleveland. Cleveland is a team that concerns me. But until Baker can rise to the occasion, I don't have nothing for him. I don't have nothing for Cleveland.
But you can't sleep. You can't sleep on Chubb.
No.
You can't sleep on Hunt. You can't sleep on either of the receivers. You know, they have a decent tight end. Their defense is solid. So, I mean, if he can get the potential out of him.
Yeah, I mean, how in the world you have these wide receivers and still wet the bed the way Cleveland did on offense?
Well, that's the quarterback, and
that's my point. That's my point.
I think honestly, Cleveland, they have the wide receiving core, but I don't think they blow me away with their coaching hire, because I mean clearly Kevin Stefanski, as you can see in the 49ers playoff game, you see he's easily to cover up. I mean, I guess you could say 49ers have a great defense, but Kevin Stefanski's scheme just wasn't, I don't think is as good as people think. I think he just had a good quarterback in Kirk Cousins, who finished top 5 in MVP voting last year. I think it was just well ran because it was Kirk Cousins, who I honestly think I would rather have still here than in the predicament that we're in now. But we're not going to talk about that. But I just think Kevin Stefanski's scheme is just isn't as dominant as people think. I think it's easy to grasp. And Richard Sherman clearly voiced his opinion too, because as soon as the Browns hired Kevin Stefanski, he said the score from the playoff game versus the Vikings, which was a blowout. So I mean, right, we'll see. But I wasn't blown away.
No, I'm right there with you. In the amount of time that it took them to hire him. Like, he was the last head coach hired, I'm pretty sure, and it took him a while. Yeah. And Yimmy, B9 Nizzle, he said, let me introduce you to the Ravens and the Steelers. The Browns
I
were two.
understand that. I'm not saying they're going to win the division, but I'm saying that they're going to do better than they did last season.
Right.
We already know that the Steelers are a consummate powerhouse. We already know that
Ravens.
We already know that the Steelers are who they are. But I'm saying they have the potential to be a better team. I'm not saying they're going to win the division.
Right.
I'm not saying that. Now, if you're looking at, you said sleepers, and that's what I'm saying. It's a sleeper team that if they get to grinding on all gears and they get to pushing on all cylinders, they're going to be a team to watch.
Right. I got you.
And they're a sleeper team. They're built like a sleeper. I think if you look at a sleeper team in the NFC, damn, that's a hard one.
Not name the Redskins.
Yeah, I mean that's a hard one because we know that the Saints are going to be there. We definitely know that we know the Seahawks are going to be there. We know that Green Bay is going to be there. What are the
Damien said the Cardinals.
Yeah, I know the Cardinals. We already know the Cardinals are on the upswing. So, but I'm thinking about a team that's just going to come out of nowhere and surprise us. I don't know if we got one that's just going to pop up out of the blue and just surprise the heck out of us.
I'm just going to say this out of, because you said blue, and I'm trying not to say us because I think, without being biased, I think that team is us. But just playing devil's advocate, and y'all are going to shoot me for saying, what about the Giants? They got the possibility. They've got Saquon. They've made some adjustments. They've got, just looking at this from a high-level football perspective, not looking at it from, we are fans of the burgundy and gold, and we hate everything the Giants stand for. They got a new offensive coordinator who's pretty good. They've got a coach who we really don't know too much about, so that's somewhere they could take advantage of. Part of me wants to say Carolina too. That's right, because the way they're building up Matt Rule. No D in New York. That's fair, and that's fair that they don't have a defense. I agree with you. But in the NFC, it's the same question. I had a conversation with a buddy of mine. Who is the top? Who at the quarterback position in the NFC? Who is the future of that position in the NFC at quarterback?
My bad.
Oh, you're good, man.
Yeah, my dad just called me. Had to go do something right quick. But what was he talking about?
Right. So we were still talking about the sleepers, and I posed this question to Yemi. In the NFC, now we know in the AFC, they've got all these young quarterbacks. Who is the future of the quarterback position in the NFC? If you're looking at it right now, the AFC has Patrick Mahomes. They've got Deshaun Watson. They've got who else is out there? They've got young quarterbacks that are. Allen. Yeah, Josh Allen is there. Sam Darnold is supposed to be there.
Drew Lock.
Yeah, Drew Lock and Baker Mayfield that have put stuff there.
I wouldn't say Baker because he just hasn't lived up to what he was drafted as. But as far as the NFC goes, I got number one, well, in no order really, but number one, I guess you can say, is my opinion, Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray for sure. Dwayne, Daniel Jones, And can we compare the NFC to the AFC? NFC is losing for sure, but I mean, top three off the top of my head is Kyler, Dwayne, Daniel Jones, and after that, I don't really know any young quarterbacks that hasn't been proven as far as the NFC goes.
Yeah, I just brought that question up because I thought that was an interesting perspective. And somebody had on it. Damien, don't come up in here asking crazy questions. What about Tyrod Taylor?
Tyrod Taylor's not a bad player, dude.
But he's not young. He's not young. I'm talking about the future. Young. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's a sleeper too. The Chargers are a sleeper too.
Brother Milk Dud out there in LA, this might be his last season. So
yeah.
Yeah, but we'll see because they're gonna push him to start Herbert down there in LA.
Leave. I gotta go do
all right
things outside. Gotta go do.
Handle your business, man. Thanks for coming by.
Man, it's a pleasure meeting you, Juan.
Hey, for sure. Just hit me up. We could do this. This can become a normal thing, a regular thing.
Yes, sir. Just let us know whenever you want us on your spot. Just let us know, okay, buddy?
Hey, I would love to do that. I just need to learn how to do all that that StreamYard, background, and I don't know how to do none of that stuff yet. So maybe you could, teach me or something. So
we can tutor you. Absolutely, buddy. Well, you take care and we'll see you again, okay?
All right, bet. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
That's Juan Gotti, y'all. I did put his channel in the description. He just hit his 1,000 subscribers. I think it was last week, and he's quickly working on getting, I think, to almost 1,300 there. So check him out, Juan Gotti Talking Sports. Thank you, Juan, for coming by and check him out. This kid is 16, almost 17, and he's a sharp dude, and he talks about the Redskins majority, but he does talk about other DC sports if you are interested in it. But the quarterback position in NFC, I think is in flux. You've got a lot of older guys. You've got your Breezes. You've introduced Tom Brady to the fold now. You've got Jimmy G isn't good anyway, but I guess they would consider him a top quarterback in the NFC because purely he made the Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers, who I think is top. Dak Prescott, probably right now would be the top young quarterback in his prime in the NFC. Carson Wentz, to me, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, he's got to stay healthy because as a quarterback and as any player in football, your best attribute is your availability. That's what it is. Right. And then you've got Russell Wilson too. Wilson's probably was playing at MVP level. Russell Wilson is going to be, I'm going to say he's going to set a lot of records by the time he's done, but he's going to get treated like Drew Brees. And Drew Brees has had seasons where his teams weren't that good. Like that year he threw 5,000 yards. I think they were like 7-9. Mm-hmm. I think Russell Wilson is going to be that same guy. He might not win an MVP, but he'll play MVP ball. He'll get your team to the playoffs. He plays. He does more than enough to win with a good defense. So I think Russell, and Russell's always one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch anyway. He's always making so I hate playing him. I hate playing Russell Wilson because we don't play well against fast quarterbacks anyway. Mobile quarterbacks, we struggle against them. Cam, Dak. It's just
I think that's going to change, though. I think that's about to change.
I think it is. I don't think. I know that's about to change. It's fine. We ain't going to be running around losing to these rookie quarterbacks if we play them. what was it? It was like one time, like for like 5-6 years straight, we lost to rookie. We were like winless against rookie quarterbacks. I think when did that start? It was like 2010. And we lost to like Bradford, and then we lost to like then we lost to Cam that one year, and it's just wild, man. Just wild losing all these young rookie quarterbacks and starting in their first season. I mean, but yeah, I agree with you, B. Nizzle. I agree 100%. What Russell Wilson is the best in the NFC, and Mahomes is the best in the NFL. Yes, that I don't think, and you know, I think you and I have probably talked about this, or maybe not. I don't think Tampa is going to be as good as people projecting them to be.
I don't either.
I don't think so, and I'll say this because Tom Brady last year. Now he's got the skill position players to make him look good, but Gronk missed a year. And then you've got Mike Evans, you've got Chris My God wins, and
Right.
you've got OJ Howard there right now too. They might be able to throw the ball. I don't know how he's going to mesh with Byron Leftwich. See, that is the key thing right there. You are a guy who is coming in there, drafted, that was drafted after the quarterback that you're starting quarterback. And he's probably like 5, 6, 7 years older than Leftwich. So I don't know how that's going to work out. I don't know. You know, it's no Josh McDaniels.
Right. He's no Josh McDaniel, but they're similar in age. They may be able to relate a little bit. I just hope. I don't know. We'll see. The people that are Tampa Bay fans, they're just excited, to have their savior, someone that can bring them another Super Bowl trophy. They hope.
I mean, it's just gonna be like when Joe Montana brought that Super Bowl championship to Kansas City.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how this plays out, man. But
yeah, I that's what I think it's sizing up to be, and I don't think Peyton Manning would have won his Super Bowl if it's not thinking that either. They didn't have that defense that was elite. They wouldn't have won that Super Bowl. Yeah, Brady is just, I don't know. Gronk got his workouts in on the Masked Singer. Gronk is more worried about his 24/7 championship.
we'll see. It's going to be interesting.
It will be. No, you absolutely right. It's going to be. I got a buddy that says everything he says all the time. It's like it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. But only time will tell. There's going to be speed bumps. Like people, and it's interesting. People got to realize there's going to be speed bumps this year because when they report to training camp, this is going to be the first time that they've had a chance to work with each other.
Yeah.
You can throw in a simulated environment and, for the most part, but at the end of the day, it's going to come down to what you can do live action on the field. And they're going to be bumps for a lot of these teams. According to Brandon Graham, it's not going to be with the Eagles, but with the Eagles.
My whole issue with that thing about the Eagles is Carson Wentz is so suspect. How many games can you rely on him being there? And that's their Achilles heel.
Right.
And
you're not wrong.
That's their Achilles heel. And either he's gonna play all the games, but he does not show up.
Oh, I know. He. I mean, what was it? He got hurt. What game? He got hurt. How many minutes into that first game? Granted, that should have been a flag. I'm not 2020 hindsight. I'm saying that should have been a flag on Clowney, but I'm glad it wasn't. And Philadelphia didn't move on, thank God. But it's just you can't depend on this cat at all.
No.
He was an MVP candidate back in 2017. He had to work his way back in 2018, got hurt. He's the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, was on the Super Bowl. He was this guy who had got hired, who had got a contract extension, and he isn't the most respected quarterback in that team's history. Nick Foles has a statue. His backup has a statue outside of the link. If that ain't emasculating, I don't know what is. Right?
Yeah, that's kind of like yeah, that's kind of like your wife having her ex-boyfriend's t-shirt.
Right. Like, oh God. And you got it posted on the wall.
Sleeping in his t-shirt.
Yeah. Oh, I remember when Johnny gave this to me. Back in. But I love you. But I love you, baby. I love you. I love you.
Love me less.
Dude, I'm telling you, like Carson Wentz. He learned this ain't North Dakota, so
yeah. I'm waiting to see, man, because it's gonna be kind of it's gonna be very interesting to see how they're gonna adapt if something happens to Wentz.
It's gonna hurt.
Oh yeah, it's gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt. Because that's why we're going 10-6. I hear you. I hear you. Like I said, we don't. Carson Wentz is Jay Cutler version 2. No, Damien, I don't think that's true, because Carson Wentz actually got hurt and got a concussion. Jay Cutler slipped on a piece of grass and was out for the rest of the NFC Championship game.
That joker,
he quit.
Well, shoot, he got sacked 42 times in that game. Shoot.
He ripped his clitoris, and they had to take him out for the game. So,
oh damn! You want to talk about me?
That's the only diabetic shock he had. Was that right there? Jay Cutler, I ain't got nothing for him. Hey, and he could have been the Redskins quarterback. Did you ever imagine? Yep. Because we ain't had no offensive line. You see Stephon Hire Stephon Hire protected him.
My bad.
Oh God.
Bye. Okay.
Bye.
Everybody leaving me.
They said we're gonna leave the angry old man up in here on Sunday.
Okay.
Our division is trash. We can be the Steelers of the NFC East for the next decade. Whoo. 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 What'd you think about that one?
That's a powerful statement.
That's powerful. Whew, Lord, that.
I wish we could be that consistent for the next decade.
That's what I'm saying. The only problem I see with that is our owner. Will our owner let us be that? Will our owner allow that? I don't know, but I'm gonna mark it down. I'm gonna say you said it here on May 31st, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
That we can be the Steelers, and if we start rocking and rolling, hey, y'all are welcome.
I just want to be respectable.
There you go.
I'm tired of seeing highlights. Every team's highlights got us on defense getting toasted.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing I am so in living here in Dallas.
Oh God.
Oh, I wanted to tell you too. This was a trip. We were talking about Andy Dalton.
Right.
My wife saw him yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they were talking. My wife's a real big Cowboys fan, as you know.
Right.
And they were talking football. And then he asked her, he said, well, you never mentioned anything about your husband. And she was like, no, because he's a Redskins fan. So, yeah, man. It's going to be something crucial, man.
Oh, yeah. My cousin Wayne used to say it the best way. He said it's going to be something serious. That's exactly what it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man. Andy Dalton, how many games he gonna start for the Dallas Cowboys?
If Dak don't come back, shoot, he might start all of them.
Dak.
You think he's gonna sign that franchise tag?
He'll sign it. They always do. They always do.
Andy Dalton hoping he don't.
My thing is, and this, I'm not wishing anything on him. My thing is, Dak is going to get hurt because we talked about his durability, and if he suffers an injury or something, that's going to lead way. Because the one thing Dallas has been consistent at since 2004, they've been consistent at quarterback. They've only had like 1, 2, 3 starting quarterbacks. Granted, they can't get them over the top. But you had Bledsoe, and then Romo replaced him, and then Romo had injuries at times where he had to put Kitten up in there, and and Orton, and who else? Shoot. I'm thinking of somebody else. I can't think. Matt Castle was there for a little bit, and then you had Dak. But really, your starters have been consistent for the most part.
But that's one thing I can say about Jerry is that he keeps a level of consistency. That's why when he does change head coaches, he doesn't replace the whole staff. He keeps somebody there.
Kellen Moore.
Yep.
And what I think that's what's going to happen. Mike McCarthy may struggle, and then they're going to make way for Kellen Moore. Just give him. That's why they kept him there. Because why do you bring an offensive-minded coach? That's what I never understood. I thought they would get a defensive-minded coach or something. If you got this young talent that you believe in at the OC spot, why in the world would you bring them in? Yeah, no, Damien, I'm doing good down there. So how y'all doing with the riots going on where y'all are? I live in I live in the middle of nowhere, so
that's me. I live on the outskirts of Dallas. I live about 30 minutes away from Dallas. So
yeah. So I'm doing all right. So it sounds like you're doing all right too. So in a physical sense, I would say. But
I mean, yeah.
We'll see. We will see when this season comes up, though. What I'm just gonna buckle my seatbelt up.
It's gonna be something else, man. I'm telling you.
Don't worry about the Cowgirls. Let them hire not whoever, but whatever. I got you. I got you. But I'm gonna tell you one thing: it's gonna be a good game when Mike McCarthy and Ron Rivera get together. They always have a good game.
Yeah,
always. So I think they're 2-2 against each other. So that they're going to get after it, and they're gonna have the teams right now. You'll see them play twice a year. And I said this before: Ron Rivera was like 12-9 against the. No, he's like 12-4 or or 12-5 against the NFC East in his career. I mean, we know he beat us 3-4 times in a row before we beat him twice in the last 2 seasons. Philadelphia has had mixed results against them, and the Giants have struggled against the Panthers. But the Panthers have really owned the NFC East from 2011 to current. So. No, I remember when they beat Dallas on Thanksgiving. It was a beautiful sight to see.
And I'm hoping we can repeat that. I mean, we can do that this year.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm hoping to be at that game.
Down there at Jerry's Playhouse.
Yeah. That game I'm hoping to be at.
I bet that'd be a fun game to be at. Especially if we in the mix of everything, when we're in the mix of everything, because I think that'll be an interesting game because it starts that 4-game stretch where we got 3 on the road and then we host Seattle to end it up. So
that's gonna be a game.
Yeah.
We played Seattle pretty good though. As long as we don't let Russell get out of the pocket.
Yeah. Let's see here. He works for Andy Reid. Will give Riverboat an advantage. Is working. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Glad y'all are okay, man. This is getting really crazy here in Chicago. People are breaking into stores just a few blocks from where I am. We hoping y'all doing good, Damien, out there, and y'all stay safe, buddy. Yeah, man. I had a joke for you, man, but I use that on Skins.
I was about to say something too, man.
I got one for him. I got one for him later. But hey, I'm gonna say that one. Hell, I'll say it. I'll just say it because he knows this is all but love. They said somebody had jacked the Thomas the Train engine Skins and put it on Instagram, right? And I commented on it. I said, is that Damien on the Thomas the Tank engine? That's what. Hey, we mean that with love, man. We mean that with love. That ain't.
Do a drive-by.
Oh Lord, here we go. Here it comes. That's my foot.
What's up?
What up?
What's up, man?
Now you gotta behave on here. You can't be talking all that crazy mess. You talk on Skins now.
What craziness?
You know that craziness you always be talking about. You bring up something wild. We be talking about football. You talking about the glue factory killed too many horses last week or something.
Okay.
Bumpy
tenderloins and stuff.
Right. Yeah. Man, but y'all staying safe out there, buddy?
Man, we got the National Guards already coming in.
Oh my gosh. True. Hey, don't mess with. Hey, man, don't go out there and mobilize, dude. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your Bears gonna be worth a doggone this year?
Nah, we going 8-8. I ain't gonna lie.
They ain't even going 8-8 this year.
Unless Foles becomes a starter,
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, we'll probably be, I say 11-5.
Shoot, you ain't man. You crazy. You
Or
crazy.
se-
I told you don't come on. I told you don't come on here talking this crazy mess now. And that's the first thing you do. If Foles start, where Foles and been where he done won that ain't called that's not Philadelphia.
Thank you.
Man, he only been to one city though. Come on.
He been in like
No,
three. He was
three.
in. He'd been in St. Louis. He was in Kansas City too for a year, wasn't he, Yemi?
I know he was. I know definitely he was in St. Louis.
Right? Jacksonville, he was awful. See.
He only played one game though in Jacksonville and got hurt.
Yep. Then he got Minshewed.
Yeah, man.
Let me see. The Bears. Yeah, he was in Kansas City. He was in Kansas City, Jacksonville. Now he's in Chicago, St. Louis. Nick Foles. Besides that Super Bowl game, Nick Foles is trash.
Basically.
Hey, this it's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like the dude, he had that one good season in 2013. Also, he threw under 3,000 yards. So
hey, but he's a better option than Trubisky.
I mean, me, you, and Yemi would probably be better options than Trubisky.
You're gonna have to be in the shotgun though, Damon. I can't see you doing a 3-step drop.
He do the rollout.
You're gonna have to be in the pistol.
Play action. He do play action. Watch you
You gonna do the roll pass option?
Oh man, shoot!
Oh.
But I don't know, man. Y'all got at least you got Tariq Cohen, so they can put the ball in his hand. He'd be all right. And
I like that kid.
Yeah, I wish we could have stole him at one time, but we don't really need to steal him.
I don't know
now.
that they're saying that we might trade him.
They'd be
I
on
don't know
drugs.
for what.
Didn't y'all trade? Y'all traded for Foles too, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's right. Yep.
We
Yeah,
ain't
they
trading
traded
him.
for Foles,
Oh
so-
yeah, we did.
Man, y'all traded a draft pick for Foles.
So I expect Foles to play.
Whew.
Hey, but what did y'all trade for Rogues Gressman?
We didn't trade anything for Rex Grossman. He was a free agent.
Oh shit! Damn, I forgot about
And
that.
I still ain't figured out why we went and got Rex.
Kyle
Sexy
Shanahan.
Rex.
Kyle Shanahan. That's all it was. That's all it was. Kyle loved him.
Sexy Rex.
Yeah.
That girl right there was terrible.
As bad as he wasn't even the worst quarterback on the roster.
No.
John Beck. John Beck.
Well, you said a name I hadn't even thought of in years.
Dude, that's why I said when we were talking about when we were on Skins talking about it last week, I said, I don't care what y'all think about Heath Schuler. I know he's garbage. John Beck was trash. Check down. I said at least Heath Schuler won a couple of games. John Beck never won a start. All he did, check down Charlie. What was it?
Somebody told me that that's all Dwayne Haskins does is check down. I'm like,
Jack.
do you watch the games?
So like them crossing routes from like Calvin Harmon and Terry McLaurin, those are check downs.
You know what I'm saying?
Them 15-yard out route, them out routes and everything, those are check downs.
Yeah.
Who was he throwing to out the backfield? Chris Thompson didn't play that much. Adrian Peterson don't catch the ball after. That's not his role. Blue collar back. Oh man, John Beck, that dude was he was hot garbage.
He can be worse than Case Keenum, though.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was worse than
He
Keenum.
was. Keenum
Was garbage too. And,
he could get the ball down the field though.
Yeah.
He could get the ball down the field. Beck couldn't do that. Like Beck set a record, gave Roy Halou, who's a running back, because he checked down so much. He has the Redskins single game reception record in a loss against San Francisco. He had it was crazy. I think he had 13 catches or something like that. Let me see. Redskins, 49ers.
I'm glad you got your computer in front of you.
Dude, I told you, research, man. Research purposes. I gotta have it. I fact check like a mug. How you throw 30 passes? He threw 30 passes in that game, right? For 254 yards.
Damn.
His longest pass was 17 yards.
Damn.
He sucks. Halou had 14 receptions for 105 yards. Halou.
Oh, man.
They didn't line Halou up at no wide receiver position. This was just all out the backfield. If that ain't checked down, I don't know what. So out of those 30 passes, 15, 16 of the passes were caught by running backs.
Dang.
So you had Darrell Young, you had Terrain, and you had Halou on there catching passes.
Oh, Killer, I know what I meant to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
You mind dropping my link?
Oh, again? Yeah, I can do that.
Because I can't.
Let me go back. I got you. I did it when we got when Juan was in here. So let me see if I can. Let me see if I can copy it. If not, that's the link right there. Let's see if it'll let me copy it. Nope. Okay.
Boy, this dang light, boy. It's like I'm sitting up under a sauna. Let me cut this air conditioner on.
Whew. You want me to drop your link, Damien, while I'm on here?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Okay. I gotta find it. Worst quarterbacks. Schuler, yeah, Shane Matthews, Danny Werfel, Sanchez, John Freeze.
See, yeah,
hey, Freeze. I dropped it. I dropped it from my personal account.
Y'all best quarterback was RG3.
Now you got jokes.
Mm-hmm.
He was our best potential quarterback in a long time, but they ruined him.
Didn't even let me put him in there. Let's see here. Oh, that's why. Shoot. Trying to do this.
Eagles are the QB factor. You are the QB destroyers.
Yo, you got jokes then.
I didn't say.
Here, y'all have the Bears outside of that.
I thought you said I watching news.
Yeah, you watching news? You about to get educated. That's Yimmy's link right there.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Man, if only I could show y'all what I'm seeing.
Oh gosh, I don't know if that's something that good or bad.
Hold on. Y'all go ahead. I'm talking.
Okay.
Depends how you want to look at it.
That's probably bad then. So let me see here. Damien, paste in, paste. There you go. Put your link in there too. Always gotta put the.
They are burning down buildings.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even know what to say about that, man.
Yeah, that's some wild mess. Oh my gosh. Ooh. So yeah, I dropped those links in there. So if y'all haven't visited these fellas before, make sure you subscribe to them and show them some love.
Thank you.
Anytime. They're good guys, I think.
Well, damn.
I'm so excited for this first game.
Dude, you and me both, man. I'm just ready for something to be on my TV that's not a movie or something. I want or a repeat of sports. I'm ready to watch something else.
Hey, if y'all want to see something funny, they got the 2000 what was that Super Bowl where the Patriots beat the Eagles?
Oh yeah.
Back when McNabb was a quarterback?
Yep.
Oh Lord. I ain't trying to watch that.
I want to see
Super Bowls were good to me.
I want to see that Super Bowl where the Patriots beat the Falcons.
Jimmy, why you keep on bringing that stuff up, man? Why you got to bring that up all the time? That's in the past. We hate when people bring that. We hate when people bring that up.
Here comes Slither.
How you gonna bring that up? And y'all, we have been relevant since '91.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, I'm just doing my best impression. I'm just doing my best impression of people. That's
it sounds pretty spot on.
Oh man. Shoot. I know the probably. Huh?
Don't worry about the Super Bowl wins. That don't matter.
It don't. Jordan's the greatest basketball player of all time, but because he won 6 championships. But that's in the past, though. So.
Yeah,
don't matter.
Worry.
Like,
what is Jordan doing now? It's called retirement.
Well, he hasn't really done nothing for Chicago.
Overrated and underrated.
Right. Oh Lord. Hold on. I've got Rico at Street Scores has his stream today.
Yeah.
Did we talk about the minority hiring in the NFL? Not that I recall. I don't remember talking about that. What was it? They were gonna hire minorities. They were gonna give teams incentives to do the right thing. To quote Spike Lee. Is that how that was, Gimme? They were gonna give draft picks.
Do the right thing.
Do the right thing. Little Spike Lee. I'm mad about the optics of it.
I am too. It looks like okay. We're gonna let you feel sorry for these guys, and since you feel sorry for them, we're gonna give you a 3rd round pick.
Yep. I mean Yeah, I'm like that. I do like one thing that they did do with these hiring practice. You can't block a position coach or coordinator from interviewing for a job. Now, whether
Right.
that'll change stuff or not, I don't know. But yeah, I don't like the idea that you're gonna give somebody a draft pick because you should be doing the right thing to begin with.
Right.
Like that's so tone deaf, and I don't get that. That's like so if that's but if that's the case, the Redskins should get one then, because we got Ron Rivera now. So
Yeah.
Blacko just turned it down because of the third round pick. That's a high pick, but I ain't a fan of it. I ain't a fan of it. I mean, I'm not. I know there's politics with everything, and this might be the unpopular school of thought and everything, but I just hate how sports in general has become politicized, because at the end of the day, people escape, because you guys should be doing the right things. The owners should be doing the right things anyway, and people use sports to get away from bull crap. Like, and that's why I don't understand why First Take and Skip and Shannon, why these guys are so popular is because they just politicize everything. Right, wrong, indifferent, whatever. I don't care, but I hate it. I hate politicizing the game, any game, not just football.
Look at MLB. They're still fighting over money.
Yeah, that's stupid. That's stupid. And you know what? The Major League Baseball should suffer because for years they've called these basketball players and these football players greedy for holding out and not getting the money that they deserve. Basketball and football is more high impact. That's why they don't play 162 games. But you can be a baseball player and make like $20-30 million a year and sit on your butt for 5 games out of the season if you're a major league pitcher. I know you're using your arm and stuff, but they should suffer. I think they should suffer for that. Major League Baseball shit. I don't think they're gonna have a season.
I don't either.
Because it's getting like to the point where you got people like guys from, and plus I love it because the Nationals would be the World Series champions for 2 years. Nobody could touch them. So that's what I love about it.
I just don't. I am just not one of them baseball dudes, though. That's just me. I don't like basketball as much as I used to, and I have my reasons.
Basketball is soft though. Like back in the 90s and early 2000s, they were rough. These guys were rough. But after Ron Artest or Meta World Peace or World Be Free or whatever his name is, they got in that fight. You could see the game got a little watered down.
I gotta be honest, man. That was the best fight.
Y'all are missing Oh, sorry. Go ahead. What'd you say?
That was the best sports fight ever.
Y'all are missing the point. The blame isn't the black coaches, it's the owners. They should have taken the deal just to make the NFL look bad. I didn't blame any coaches. I said I didn't like it because the owners should be doing the right thing in the first place. That's my thing. I don't think you should get a golden carrot because you are, if anything, if they're not doing the right thing, they need to get draft picks taken away from them. If that's the case, that's how you suffer. But the owners are the ones who make the rules.
Thank you.
That's it. That's all it is. Right. I am not. Don't think I'm missing your point or defending the owners. I am not doing that. They get enough. They reap benefits enough as it is.
I think there should be a time when you are forced to do what's right.
Right. And that goes back to personal responsibility.
It's not rewarded.
Right. No, you should get rewarded for doing the right thing. Like you said, Eric Bieniemy, he deserves his shot. But he's still in Kansas City. And to be honest with you, looking at some of these jobs, I really wouldn't want to deal with half of these owners anyway.
Yeah.
You want to deal with Jimmy Haslam in Cleveland? Okay. You really want to deal with Dan Snyder? Excuse me, is your first head coaching job? Jerry Jones? Like, I mean, maybe
the McCaskies.
Well, maybe them. You might want to deal with them, or maybe the mayors you might want to deal with. But yeah, they don't. That's my thing. They should not get rewards for that. But they haven't done the right thing ever, so they must be forced to. And that's what I'm saying.
We understand that,
right?
But it shouldn't be a reward. You shouldn't give them it should be a penalty for not doing it, not a reward.
Yeah. Because they've tiptoed. What the NFL needs to do is they need to make that Rooney Rule stronger. And they need to, it's about the money bag. Yep, it's about the bag. They deal with those owners anyway. Yep. They need to make that rule stronger and throw the hammer down on them. Now I get you. I want to see more minorities, more blacks, more Hispanics getting opportunities. Asians getting opportunities. I'm all for it.
But until we get a minority owner,
no, that ain't gonna happen.
And I ain't talking about old boy in Jacksonville.
Oh, Mr. Khan.
Yeah, I'm talking about the one. I'm talking about somebody that looked like the players.
Right.
Damn it, get Snoop Dogg in the league.
No, he couldn't pass the drug test to be an owner. Neither could Ursay, but
okay.
Oh man. Oh.
No, that's Minneapolis. That's not us.
Yeah. But no, I hear you beating this. I do, man. Don't think that you're saying, like I said, I don't worry about their reward. Worry about our reward. NBA, one black owner in the decades of back. Don't worry about their reward. Worry about our reward. I ain't getting paid for it, so it ain't really a reward to me. But NBA has one black owner. And to the defense of that right there, what did Michael Jordan say that was key in that argument? He said that Republicans buy sneakers too. So I don't know. Don't worry about their reward. Worry about our reward. I got you.
So how y'all think y'all season gonna go?
We already told you 8-8, 79. 79, somewhere like 9-7, something like that.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't hear. I must have froze up. I must froze up when I heard that. Yeah, the 11-5 Chicago Bears. Who y'all gonna beat in y'all division? That's what I want to know. You
The
can't
Lions.
The
They
Lions.
can't beat the Lions. Can't beat Minnesota.
Yeah, we beat them 4 times in a row.
Don't repeat that MJ sellout stuff. That's why buildings are burning down.
Now buildings are burning down for never mind.
Yeah. We'll take that on another. We'll do that on another one, Yumi.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. I hear where you're coming from. We hear where you're coming from, and I respect where you're coming from, man. I do. 10-6. Dub says 10-6.
Why Dubs hadn't come on yet?
Yeah, where you at, Dubs?
He must got on his makeup.
He must be cleaning them new hats. He probably ordered like 6 new hats and 20 pairs of new shoes and everything.
He probably finding hair for that cat he got.
See, there you go. That's what that's what I'm talking about. There it is.
I'm sorry.
There it is.
I'm sorry.
Dubs, a challenge has been issued to you, bro.
He's on his way.
Kitty Cat Diva, I agree with Dubs. Come on, Dubs. No, but you see that Dubs has a mask.
My bad.
He got a new Redskins mask. That thing is nice. We must step into our position of power if the world will change for the better. I hear you. Let's see. Yeah. I'm not willing to say double digit wins yet for the Burgundy and Gold. I just here we go.
Dun, dun, dun.
Shots fired. Shots fired, Lord. Dude, you bring this up. I said, look, don't talk that craziness, Damon. I said, don't talk it. And what did I tell you? What did I tell you? Did I not say it? Yimmy, what did I tell him? What did I tell him?
Come on here with that foolishness.
I said, don't come here. I prep you. I try to protect. Hey, I try to protect you.
I know.
I'm trying to protect you. And you like.
Look, I was trying to get my mind off of this crap.
I hear you. But you go, hey, I would understand that if this was the first time you made that joke to Dubs. I'd understand it the first time. It's like a regular thing with you. Man, he
roasted by Dubs.
That's what they need to put. You and Dubs, y'all just need to start a roasting channel. That's what you got. That's what y'all need to do. I sit down and watch it. I pop popcorn and watch that stuff, man. I would. Like T.O. said, get your popcorn ready.
It'd be like a show called Wheelchair and the Hat Man.
Wow.
Caps and caps. Oh, head caps and hub caps. How about that, Jimmy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, y'all wrong.
Shoot. Bruh. Like I say,
rims and brims. Yeah.
I like that one. You can't hate on that one, Damon. You know that one was funny, bro. You know that was.
I ain't even hating.
Yeah, that would be a good show, Rims and Brims.
I keep the hat rolling in. Hats rolling. Yeah. Dubs. Shoot, y'all. But
Well, man, I am about to let you go.
yeah, man. I just see the ticker here at 3 hours. I said, shoot, it's about time to wrap this bad boy up. But I appreciate you fellas coming on here.
I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, man. Anytime. I appreciate you guys coming on and talking fit off.
Oh, that's cold.
Oh, Dubs.
That's cold.
Well, hey,
Hey,
y'all be safe out there, Damien, especially you. I know you. Yo,
I figured out a theme song for their new show, though. You could do "Roll Out" by Ludacris. Roll
they see me
out.
rolling. Roll. God, y'all ain't right. Damien, my boy, it's all we know that. It's all love. No, but yeah, we appreciate you. Appreciate the conversations we had today. Juan Gotti stopping by. We're gonna have to make Nizzle. I'm gonna have to make you a mod on this channel, man, because you stick with us, brother. And we appreciate that, man. Always adding good insight to the conversation. Anna, thanks for coming by. Dubs, thanks for coming by. John Lynch came by earlier and commented with us. Greg Lightbody. Who else we had up in here? I like to go through and make sure I touch on people. Yeah, but we appreciate you guys. There is Dazzling Urbanite was in here too. I read his comment, didn't say his name, so I apologize for that. But the Nate Kaczor video will be out either tomorrow or Tuesday, depending on how I feel. But I've got I'll show this because I can make sure Yemi knows that I'm working hard.
Dang.
Take my notes.
Oh.
Hey, bro, I got notes on everybody. If you need me to find somebody, I'm gonna go into a new Kitty Cat Diva too. Thank you for coming by. Appreciate it.
Wait, question. Question.
Yeah.
Please explain the 85 Bears is second best than the Ravens.
Look up how many points they gave up, and then come back and talk to me.
Bam.
Ravens gave up less points than the Bears did.
Yeah, damn. Never mind.
They shut down. Okay, there you go. Never mind. Never you mind.
Never mind. Yeah.
I got it. And they actually kept that team together. When what was it, Jimmy? It was like 4 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
They didn't score a touchdown
against
teams. The Redskins were one of them. Redskins beat them like 10-3. And they didn't have a quarterback they started 2 different quarterbacks that year. Yeah. They only had Bears on 1 too. So
got a point.
But yeah, hey man, we appreciate it. But yeah, appreciate you guys coming by. Nate Kaczor video will be up either tomorrow or Tuesday. So we'll learn about special teams. Yemi, Damien, appreciate you guys. We always say on the channel, love, peace, and hell. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell for us as well. Always love, peace, and hell. And we'll be talking to you real soon. I'm out.